Welcome to 2019 with Nerd on Nerd. What do I usually say? I threw myself so quickly.
You had this nice new start, but instead
with
of
me,
there we go.
Got it. I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got it. We're back with me, Ellie Kempster,
And me, Liam Underwood. Wow. Yeah, that's it's 2019.
We're off to a good start. Don't worry, guys. 2019's the year Nerd on Nerd fixes itself.
Well, that's the plan. I feel like we've had this plan in previous years. Not last year.
Yep.
Last year, less.
Last year, we're just going to write it off.
Yeah, I mean, last year, we were optimistic at the start of last year, but I think
the New Year's special episode was called the optimistic episode.
Yeah, I think the year just wore us down.
It did. 2018's been hard, guys.
We've had Brexit to deal with.
Oh,
and then we were looking over at what America was doing, and that was scary. And then...
Yeah, we've done some shit, but so have you, America. So just because we said Brexit, don't get high and mighty, because you've got old Trump in there. We've got Brexit, you've got Trump. It's all a bit of a shit show.
You've got Russia.
2019.
Russia's there still, but...
They're doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about 2018, really, is North Korea piped down at last.
I think they just sort of went, nothing we do will be as crazy as the rest of the world. Maybe we should just stop.
Yeah, I think it was like the sort of thing like, how do we act out to get attention? And they're like, probably the only thing we could really do now to get attention is set off a nuke. So maybe we don't do that.
It's like when a kid's crying and then the parent just goes, Wah! And the kid's like, I don't know what just happened, so I'm going to stop.
Yes.
It's like that.
Yeah, except in this case, the parent was the rest of the world.
Yeah, it just sort of went insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, what a wonderful start to our New Year's special episode.
Yeah, this episode, later on, we're going to be kicking things off in true Nerd on Nerd style by talking about a film called The Void.
Yep.
But before we get to all that, it's time for catching up with Ellie and Liam, our first catching up of 2019. So, we've got a lot of catching up to do.
There's been so much going on, listeners.
There has. It was my birthday. I know that you're all probably like, I thought his birthday episode was like a month ago. It was. We have to do it that way.
Because... And what Liam does is he milks his birthday for 2 episodes and thinks that I don't realise that's what he's doing, but I know.
Yeah, well, I think last year I milked it for 3. So
the best thing about this episode is going to be, I believe in the Christmas episode, we talk about how you were sort of this like spoiled child. And I've just realised that one of the things you're going to have to talk about is the presents you got. And it doesn't like dispel that myth, let's say.
It was my birthday.
Yeah.
So I think I mentioned on my birthday episode what my plan was, which was I had paid to take myself, Kat, my mum, and her partner to see Hamilton as like partly their Christmas present, but mostly my birthday present to myself.
Yeah, it's sort of like what I've done for my parents.
Yeah, exactly. This was my second time seeing Hamilton. Now, I don't know if it's because it was literally like 4 days away from Christmas, but 2 of the main cast members, at least two that I kind of noticed, were played by different people. And like literally a few weeks before my birthday, the first song of Hamilton was performed on the Royal Variety Show.
Yeah.
Which is like this British show that I think they do a load of variety acts for the Queen or something ridiculous like that, right?
Or how did you solve that one, Sherlock? Sorry, I don't want to start mean.
That's fine.
This is the first episode. Be positive, Ellie. Yeah, Liam. Yeah. I think that is what they do. So it's a variety show for the royals.
Yeah, Kat showed me last night the Hamilton performance, and the main guy, like the guy that plays Hamilton, and the guy that plays Burr, it was the people on the Royal Variety Show that we saw the first time we went to see it. But when I went to see it the second time, it was 2 different people doing that role.
Okay.
The guy that did Hamilton was fine. The guy that did Burr wasn't as good, which was disappointing. Which is why I now want to go see it for a 3rd time, and hopefully I can get good Burr again, because he's so good. He has like a slight lisp, but he's really good.
Yes, I've seen him on stuff.
Yeah, he's amazing. But it was still superb seeing Hamilton again. Before that, we went to a restaurant that used to be co-owned by Michael Caine.
Cool.
It was called Langan's. I didn't realise. There's some celebrity spotting in Langan's.
Who did you see, Liam?
I saw Gemma Collins.
Who is that?
She was in, or is in, The Only Way Is Essex. Which
I know the name. Yeah, I've seen her.
For our American listeners, The Only Way Is Essex is sort of like, I'm guessing, Jersey Shore.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean
That's
Jersey.
type
Well,
of-
it's they're less like they're a different because Jersey Shore they're sort of like not scummy is the wrong word,
Trashy.
but yeah. Whereas the only way is Essex. They're not like trash. They're sort of like
No, but
rich kids.
it's that like scripted reality show, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the same format. They're just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's still-
she
it's a trash
was
show.
milling around this restaurant with her other half, Arj. If you've seen the show,
How
you'll know
do you
him.
know all their names?
I honestly don't know. I've never watched an episode.
Why do you know who her boyfriend is?
I don't. He's in the show as well, obviously.
Yeah, but you don't
But-
watch the show.
No, I don't know how I know this. I'm just I'm a man of the people.
Who spotted them?
I did. We had
What?
to.
How do
We
you
had to
know
walk.
them?
We had to walk past her to get to our table.
The idea of you walking into a restaurant, turning to Kat, your mum, and Ian, and going, "Oh, it's Gemma Collins from The Only Way Is Essex and her partner Arch."
Yeah.
I imagine they were all like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, exactly. No, we had to walk past them because she was blocking the way. She was getting right in the way because she was
Classic.
busy talking to Piers Morgan.
We're not usually like, no, he's a dickhead and I hate him. I'm going to take that. I'm going to be the hero and take that stance.
No,
he's a right dickhead.
I completely agree. I feel like what he has done is he's gone, if I say just shitty things, people pay me money.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Katie Hopkins. And
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I, for some reason, have enough blind faith that these people don't actually believe these things they're saying. They just go, me saying this gets me money.
I think they also believe a lot of the shit they say.
Yeah, I'm
I
worried
think
that
isn't
that's
she like
true.
anti-vaccines and stuff?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Some of it is so extreme. I'm like,
Because
how
that's
can you...
because that's not even like oh I'm just doing this for a if you're anti-vaccine you are literally
Stupid.
like, you could potentially kill someone.
But I'm sure, like Katie Hopkins, I'm sure is the person that went on a TV show in the UK called This Morning and said she hates parents who name their children after places.
Yes,
And then it was
she
pointed
is.
out to her that her child is named India.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, some of the stuff is just so ridiculous like that you've got to think she's doing it deliberately to provoke
I
reactions.
think they might just. I don't think that's. Even if they are, I don't think it forgives them for saying it on national
100%
TV.
it doesn't. If anything, it makes them more scummy, I think.
Yeah, it would. I think.
Yeah. But I feel like with Piers Morgan, I don't know if he fully believes everything he says, or if he's just like, if I say this, it's going to get me attention.
Yeah, some of the clips you see of him, I am like, oh, you're just saying it because
Exactly.
I'm Piers Morgan and that's what I do.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck off.
So the food at this place was really nice. I had a deconstructed pie where it comes with
It's
like...
one of those places.
That's the thing, right? You look at the menu and it's half like fancy stuff and half just normal stuff. And I thought what I was ordering was a normal thing. And then it comes out like... Because it's just described as a pie. Then it comes out and it's literally like the fillings on one side of the plate.
Oh, well,
the
that's...
pastries on another. And I think that was
They
mash.
shouldn't do that. That's false advertising. You should have thrown it on the floor and said, I want a fucking pie.
It was delicious, is the thing.
How do you eat it?
Well,
Do you have to scoop the filling onto slices
well,
of
no, 'cause
pastry?
yeah, basically that's how I did it.
Well, that's weird. What's the point? That's too much effort. Put it in a pie.
Well, I mean, when you order
That's
a
a
pie,
lazy
you would
chef.
expect it, right?
I'm sorry if we've got any chef listeners and they make things like deconstructed pies. I am sort of joking, but at the same time, make a fucking pie.
Yeah, it's not hard, is it?
No, you're giving us work to do, and Liam's the one that paid for that.
Yeah.
So you know,
So my mum sent me like a couple of restaurants that she was like, "Oh, this will be nice to go to, and it's your birthday, and you're treating us to Hamilton, so my treat to a nice meal." And
okay.
I'll be honest, the only reason why I chose Langan's was because on the menu they had my favourite pudding of all time. For American listeners, pudding is dessert.
do they not know that? No, they say pudding.
Do they? Amanda, let us know. But yeah, fruit salad.
I hate that that's your favourite pudding.
I know, and it genuinely is. The thing is, it's so rarely is an option in restaurants.
Yes, because it's just chopped up fruit.
I know, and anytime it's an option,
Restaurants
I
don't
get
do it because everyone would go, this isn't dessert, you're just chopping up fruit and giving it to me.
Yeah, and it makes me so happy every time I have it.
Ugh.
I love fruit. I'm one of those weirdos that like. I think
No,
it's
no. It doesn't make you a weirdo. Again, I'm not saying that people that like fruit salad are weird. I'm saying someone that thinks that fruit salad is their favourite dessert.
But
is
bear in
weird.
mind, I'm also someone that doesn't eat chocolate, which rules out 90% of desserts.
He did though, listeners. He used to eat so much of it. He was like the kid from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I really
Augustus
was.
Gloop.
Yeah.
Liam was that kid.
And
Thin.
I think if I'd have carried on down that route, I'd have had some serious health problems.
Oh yeah, you would have. You
Yeah.
would have diabetes.
Yes, exactly. So I think the only reason as well that I managed to wean myself off of chocolate is because I love fruit so much. And like,
Yeah.
for me, it was a real just stop being lazy type thing where I would always go to chocolate because I'm like, I don't have to prepare it. But if someone was like, I will either present to you a bar of chocolate or a bowl of fruit, I would always go for the fruit. So it's just training myself to not be fucking lazy and go and cut up some fruit.
I love that the listeners have heard all these episodes of Nerd on Nerd, and I'm just picturing a listener hearing you saying, I just trained myself not to be lazy, and then going, the two co-hosts of Nerd on Nerd not being lazy. That's not a thing.
It's not. But anyway, went to Snagans. I don't know how to put this delicately, right? But
okay.
I did I woke up and I did like a birthday morning poop and it was glorious.
Yeah.
Finished my deconstructed pie. There was nothing wrong with the pie, but I don't know if it was like the excitement for Hamilton or what it was, but like I immediately had to poop again in this like fancy restaurant. And I was
your
like,
body's we've dealt with this before. You having a weird body that seems to somehow process food within milliseconds of it entering your mouth.
Honestly, it was the sort of thing where literally I sat down and just immediately everything opened up and it was amazing.
Did you make it through the whole of Hamilton?
Yeah, no. So we did the restaurant before Hamilton.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, because if you immediately pooped, that almost sounds like something was going wrong.
Oh no, I don't know what. Like I said, it might have been excitement for Hamilton. I don't know what it was. I had to go. I went and I was sat there and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can hear Piers Morgan outside. And also, so this is a thing that bothers me, right? Is when you go to like restaurants and stuff, when they only have one, especially like in the men's, they have just like one stall.
Yeah,
I don't like using.
Like, so you're like, if someone comes in here needing to poo,
they've got to
either I'll get out and they'll have to deal with what I've left behind, smell wise, or they'll have to wait and hear me violently shitting.
Yeah. And to be fair, it wasn't violent. It was like soft serve ice cream, if anything.
I don't need to know.
But it was amazing. It was so good. But yeah, I think a couple of people came in and were like, oh, it's occupied, and then left, which is good. I would rather that than them just like hover.
Oh, I'd hover, just to make you feel warm.
Oh, no, I would too, but luckily that wasn't the situation. But yeah, after that, I was absolutely fine. It was just one of those things that I was like, I got halfway through my pie and then was like, something needs to happen here. And I was like, nah, let's finish the pie first.
Okay. Well, I'm glad, because knowing how slowly you eat, I can only imagine how annoyed I would have been if halfway through a meal, so already, like, everyone else has finished.
Yeah,
they're
I'm
on,
very
like,
slow
tipples
eater.
and desserts, and Liam's just sitting there halfway through a pie, and then he's like, guys, I need to go do a poo as well. Oh, I'd walk out.
Fun story. Christmas Eve, me and my mum have this tradition of going to our local Indian for Christmas Eve.
Of course you do. You have such a weird Christmas.
Yeah, I know. This year, Ian was around, so he came with us, and we also met one of my mum's friends who like lives in the area. They met through like dog walking. Like, they both had dogs.
Dog walking clubs.
Yeah. It wasn't like a club.
Dogging clubs.
No, not a dogging club. They just have both been walking their dogs at similar times of the day and met each other.
Late at night.
Yeah. Anyway, so this woman, right?
Near the car parks.
I was sat next to her while I was having my Indian, and obviously everyone had finished like a good 10-15 minutes, and I was still, ploughing on through. She turned to me and she was like, are you not enjoying your food, or are you just a really slow eater? And I'm like, I'm just slow. Like,
it's bold to call someone out. Does she know you very well?
Not particularly well. I've met her like twice
before. So yeah, that's a bold thing to do.
Yeah, and then I was just like, just let me enjoy my Indian. I think next year I'm just going to say to my mum, let's not invite your friends. I don't need to be called out on Christmas Eve. Trying to get into the festive spirit. Someone's picking
Your life is almost like a sitcom. Like you're this 30-year-old man.
31 now.
and you have these like the sort of things happen to you that where like I could see that happening to a teenager, but somehow it's happening to you.
Yeah.
But you're also with your mum, so it's like this whole I don't know.
It's like Arrested Development.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
definitely.
Oh, it's great.
But anyway, back to my birthday. Saw Hamilton. That was amazing.
Of course.
Absolutely loved it. Just so good. I'm so excited for you to see it because you've started listening to the soundtrack now.
I fucked up.
I think that was smart because the first time I saw it was the first time I hadn't listened to any of it beforehand apart from like 2 songs. And in all honesty, it was quite overwhelming, which is the primary reason why I wanted to go see it again.
Yeah, but the problem is, Liam, I've still got like a month and a half longer than that till I can see it.
Yeah.
And I for the last 3 days, I think, I've tried to listen to other stuff, but every single day I end up listening to either the entirety of that Hamilton soundtrack, or like the best songs, which is maybe like half of the Hamilton soundtrack.
Yeah, I have to admit, I think the first half is stronger than the second half.
Oh, but there's some real good stuff in the second half.
There is.
The fucking Cabinet Office battles are great.
Yeah. I mean,
and also the end stuff, towards not the end, the bit before the end.
Yeah.
That bit. Woo!
And then I can't remember the exact name of the song. Is it In the Eye of the Hurricane? Or is it just called Hurricane or something?
Hurricane.
That is such an underrated song, I think.
That whole segment is just a work of art. And the first time I listened to it, I was, admittedly, listeners, I had no sleep the night before.
Yeah.
So already I was out of whack a little bit. Mm-hmm. I decided to myself, I went, I'm going to listen to Hamilton, get ready.
What made you decide that?
To not sleep or to listen to it?
To listen to it.
Because I remember you saying,
yeah.
I sort of struggled to get some of the lyrics when I was listening the first time. So I was like, I'll give it a listen just so I can, like, you know, I know everyone's heard My Shot and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I should probably know some of the others. And then just powered through the entire thing.
That's because when I went to see it, the first time, the only songs I'd heard before was the first song, and Battle of Yorktown. So I hadn't heard My Shot or anything else. And
I think I'd heard My Shot before and maybe Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, and that's kind of the issue is when you're trying to take in like the music, but also you've got everything that's going on stage as well.
Yeah,
like I didn't really get kind of into it the first time until probably about Helpless.
Yeah, well, that's my current favourite song from the soundtrack.
Yeah, but there was just so much going on. It wasn't until Wait For It where I was kind of like, my brain just clicked and went, don't think of this as like a stage show. It's more just like a greatest hits album where every single song is amazing and they're just performing these amazing songs. Because I wasn't picking up enough of the lyrics to like piece the story together.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I was going to say, because that's the thing that I found weird was I've not seen the show. I've only listened to the soundtrack, but I think I can probably... Well, I can tell you exactly what the story of Hamilton is.
Yeah.
Because the songs do such a good job of telling the story.
Yeah, but trying to like... Yeah, the mistake I made was definitely not listening until I first saw it because it was just way too much to take in.
Fair enough.
Seeing it again was so much better because, one, I was so familiar with like the cast recording that's on Spotify that I could notice when the British cast like tweaked things, they did things slightly different, which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, and two, I could just like really appreciate like the performances and it was you've done the right thing. It's just good luck.
I did it too early.
Yeah. But I think once you've seen it, we need to book tickets to go see it again because I want to see Good Bear again.
Yeah, and you also want to experience me crying for however long Hamilton is.
Yeah, and aren't we going to also just like sing it at each other relentlessly? No doubt. Not now.
Oh, probably
not on the podcast. But
no, But I imagine the next time I see you will just be me and you, possibly Kat if she wants to join in, singing a variety of Hamilton songs.
Kat loves it, right? But when we sing it together, I kind of have to prompt her. So I have to like start her off and then I let her finish off the lyric.
God, I imagine that annoys the shit out of her.
Oh, it does. Several times she's been like, I'm done with this now. Sometimes she's well up for it. Most of the time, she's like, she'll humour me for like 2 or 3 lines and then she'll be like, that's enough. Christmas. How did you spend your Christmas Eve? Because I told you how I spent mine.
Christmas Eve, I did the traditional, what my group do, which is Christmas Eve, we all go out to a pub we used to go to when we were 18. We used to, basically, when I was in high school and we'd all turned 18, we had a thing called Pub Mondays, where we went to a shitty pub called the Moon on the Hill, which is in a place called Sutton.
Which is where you live? Or near where you live?
It was near where I used to live, and it's now half an hour, 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that. So now the tradition, that stopped, obviously, because we've all moved away and got jobs and shit.
Go to
but now the tradition is... Yeah, we do. There's literally one, 5 shops away from that pub, which is a billion times better and we all love. But the tradition is that we go to the Moon on the Hill on Christmas Eve.
Okay, fair enough.
So we all went down there. Or, well, a bunch of us went down there.
That must be nice. Like, so I imagine there's people that you probably haven't seen like a lot throughout the year. So
you do see, yeah. I mean, to be fair, most of the ones there were the normal lot. Yeah. There were a couple that had travelled down because they were spending Christmas with their parents or whatever. Exactly. And you see them and you're like, oh, awesome, you've come back for a visit.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, like, this is a tradition and it happens every year. I've been at the Moon on the Hill every Christmas Eve for the past like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
We were all trying to arrange it. Somehow I got that job. Don't know how. I'm bad at arranging stuff.
That's a terrible decision.
Someone just messaged me and went, "I hear you're organising this," and I went, "Well, that's a fucking mistake."
Did it go as well as that time you organised a uni get together?
Well, I've tried that a couple of times now. Whatever. But so one of my mates was like, "Oh, do we still do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, we do it every year." And he was like, "I don't think anyone really does it anymore." And I was like, "No, you don't do it anymore. We all do.
It's still going. Yeah.
I know you all every year he doesn't go." And I was like, "Well, yeah, mate. We're all still going.
Yeah.
Just because you don't go, the tradition is happening."
It's not like, oh, that person's not going. Let's call it off. It's not worth it.
No. There's like it's not the whole group. It's definitely like therapy, and understandably, it's like the next day is Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Like obviously, most people aren't going to want to be there.
Yeah.
But it's just fun. It's a good little. You see your friends before Christmas, because then you get the run of days where you're like doing family stuff.
Yeah. Although then you get that weird like twilight time between like Christmas and New Year, which is what we made the most of this year. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's that little gap in between where things happen. But yeah, I don't know. It's like a couple of days where and that's what I did for actual Christmas was family stuff on Christmas Day and family stuff on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I was the same to be honest. Ian goes to his parents. He went Christmas morning. It was just me and Mum. Christmas dinner was turkey and lamb because I love lamb, and you've got to have turkey. It was delicious.
The idea of having more roast meat on Christmas is just
amazing.
Vile.
I put a picture on Twitter of what my Christmas dinner looked like. It was ridiculous. Oh, what I didn't talk about, between my birthday and Christmas, on the 22nd of December, me and Kat have like a little mini Christmas. Because then on the 23rd, we
do
go
your own
off.
things.
Yeah. So I had a Christmas dinner then as well, but I also had an obscene amount of food, but just turkey this time because Kat doesn't love me as much as my mum loves me, so she refuses to make lamb for me as well.
I don't think anyone loves you as much as your mum loves you.
Yeah, I think that's caused problems.
Yeah. Yes, it has, Liam. This is why you're the way you are.
Yeah. But we watched... So we each chose a Christmas movie to watch, right? I chose
What did you pick?
This horror film called Better Watch Out, which...
Of course you
not
did.
Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 Better Watch Out, just Better Watch Out.
Just Better Watch Out.
Which, if we ever get through all the Silent Night, Deadly Night films, I'm probably going to recommend at some point in the future, because
Okay.
it was good. It was much better than I was expecting it to be. And then Kat, right, this is how well I've trained Kat. She chose Die Hard as her film.
Yeah.
And it was just perfect.
I don't even know if you trained Kat to do that, did you? I'm sure... Wasn't Kat in the group that... Like, at uni, there was a group that always talked about Die Hard, and I know you were one of the ringleaders of said group.
Yeah, I don't know if
I was
she'd
always on
seen
board
it
with them.
before dated me or not.
Oh, maybe
I honestly
not.
can't remember. I know Back to the
Fair
Future
enough.
she hadn't, which we had to fix that.
Mind blown.
But yeah, she got to see Back to the Future for the first time in the cinema because they did like a 25th
Oh, yeah.
anniversary re-release. So
I think I remember you two going to that.
yeah, it was good. We went with Mark, who's been on the show before a while back. We need to get him back on this year.
I know. I know, Mark.
Yeah. So yeah, did that, and then Kat went to bed, and I
Masturbated.
watched Home Alone 4.
Two different things we suggested there.
Yeah, I watched all 5 Home Alone films this Christmas period, and let me tell you, the first 2 were a good idea. 3, 4, and 5, not.
When does Macaulay drop out? Is that after 2?
2? Yeah,
Yeah, just they don't count as Home Alone films. Don't watch them.
it's called Home Alone 3 though. So had
But they're not. They're like it's like how a script will just get picked up and put like the Cloverfield franchise that I love.
So here's the thing with Home Alone 3, and I'm gonna just go through these very quickly.
Oh, God,
It
yeah,
has such an
you're trying to
audacious
sneak in
opening.
reviews here.
Right, so it's this 90s family movie, but it
Yeah.
opens with these international North Korean assassin criminals.
Right.
That's how it opens.
Why?
Oh, they've stolen this like computer chip, obviously, which they've hidden in a remote control car, which ends up in this kid. I think his name is Alex. So it's not even, they're not even pretending that it's like
Yeah,
Macaulay Culkin's character.
it's not recasting Kevin.
Yeah, no, it's a completely different kid with a completely different family. And then it's these international criminals trying to get this remote control car off of him. And so here's the thing, right? Not only does he outsmart these international criminals, he also does it while he's home alone, ill, because he's got like chickenpox or something. So some would
don't wanna
argue
watch it.
he's better than Macaulay Culkin's character, Kevin
Is he?
McAllister. Oh, I don't think so, but I'm just
No.
saying some might argue. And then Home Alone 4 sees a different kid recast as Kevin McAllister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely abysmal. Just atrocious. And then Home Alone 5 is, again, a different kid. I don't think they're pretending he's Kevin in this one. He's got a different name. He thinks his house is haunted. It's not. It's being burgled.
What?
It's got
Okay.
right. Do you know who Malcolm McDowell is?
I recognise the name.
He was in A Clockwork Orange, and he's been in like loads of stuff since.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in it for some reason.
Of
I
course.
couldn't tell you why.
No. Very weird.
Honestly, atrocious films. But yeah, Christmas, pretty standard.
Do you want to tell us anything about Christmas?
It was just a good time.
Yeah. What did you get anything good?
I did, yeah, did you?
Yeah, I got some decent stuff. Yeah. I got a jacket. Some new shoes.
Yeah, I got a jacket. I didn't get shoes, because apparently I'm notoriously hard to buy for shoes.
Oh, fair enough. Well, my parents know what to get me.
What shoes did you get?
Low cut Converse, mate.
Have they got a design on them?
It used to be nerdy Converse. Now it's just get me. Well, this year they just went get us in pink Converse, and I went, yep, that's exactly what I want.
Fair enough.
So that's good. Yeah, nice leather jacket that I wore on New Year's Eve. That's nice. Other bits and bobs, nothing. All good stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that I asked for and needed. What did you get?
I got hang on, let me show you, and I want to see if you can figure this out. Can you see that?
That says the home file.
Yeah. It's a big old box for putting all my important documents and stuff in.
Who got you that?
My mum. For my birthday. Because I've got just a general like plastic folder which has things like health insurance, like
Yeah, like
contract for
important
the
stuff.
house, bills, all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But the plastic folder's getting a bit tatty and worn because there's
So
too
she
many
bought you
documents
It's a big.
in it.
It's a big file. It's a big file
There's a
container that Liam's got there. He could
It's-
fit a lot of important documents in that.
there's even room for extra. What
Yeah.
are they called?
I can't remember what you call them. Sleeves?
Sort of like sleeve, like dividers.
Yeah, that's it. Dividers. Yeah.
Dividers. So
Oh, fair enough. That's useful. That's a good present.
yeah,
Cool.
that's for my birthday.
Nice that your mum got you that.
Yeah, and I got a
What did Kat get you?
nice hoodie for my birthday.
Oh, cool.
Kat got me like Funko and
Nice.
like a little figure of Chucky, and
Oh,
it comes
okay.
with like a load of accessories and stuff.
So you can dress him up.
Or you can like change his weapons.
That's the equivalent of dressing up.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
So okay. So I was wrong earlier, listeners, when I said that Liam was going to prove that he was a spoiled kid. That's all he got. That's everything he got.
Well, mostly everything.
Oh.
The listeners don't need to know. So after Christmas,
Oh, sorry. It sounded like you almost wanted to say something there, Liam. But you didn't.
I think
What?
it would be after Christmas next.
Yeah, you don't want to. No sort of. I don't know. Mum didn't get you. Just off the top of my head, something like a full surround system for your cinema room.
5.1
Surround sound system. Sorry, I didn't say the full name.
Okay, to be fair, yeah, she got me like the 5.1 speakers, but the amp that they all plug into is a hand-me-down from Ian because he's upgraded his cinema room and he didn't.
Oh, okay.
want it
So she
anymore,
only bought you a full set of speakers, not the amp.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
So but no, yeah, that was like all I got for Christmas. Understandably.
I'm just being a dick. That's not even that bad. That's all.
It was pretty cool, to be honest. It was the sort of thing, right? So here's the thing. Last year, I saved up really hard to be able to afford a surround sound system, and then I got hit with a $4,000 tax bill.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, I think it might have been more than that actually, but whatever.
It was quite a lot.
Yeah, I paid off half of it, and then forgot
Oh,
that I
Liam.
had the other half to pay off, and I saved up a load of money again, and was like, oh, I've got enough money that like after Christmas I can go out and get a new surround sound speakers. And I had literally the exact amount of money that I needed for it. And then I realised that I'd only paid half of that tax bill, so I still had $2,000 left of it to pay. I'm like, oh, all that money that I've saved up has to go on that now.
Yeah.
So it was a very nice present because it was like I was just annoyed that 2 years in a row I'd saved for it, and then was like, oh, not getting this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Adulthood.
my cinema room is nearly finished.
It's nice. I like your cinema room.
I need to get a rug for it.
Your feet get cold.
Yeah, and we've got a new sofa that's coming because we've got one previously, but it wasn't good enough, so I got rid of it, getting a new one. Well, we got one online, and then it arrived, and the back was like really short, so you couldn't like lean back in it, so you had to sit really up and straight, and then it just hurt my back after like half an hour.
Yeah.
So we get a new sofa, and I want to get a couple more bookcases to put in the back, so I have more room for more films,
Fair enough.
which goes completely against one of my New Year goals.
Yeah, weird that.
Yeah. So after Christmas, before New Year, we spent some time together.
We did. We started a mini project, sort of. It's part of Nerd on Nerd.
It was just going to be like a YouTube exclusive, but now I don't think it is.
No, now it's going to be a bonus episode on the podcast stream at some point.
Yes.
Which I think works better.
Yeah, it's fine. Do you want to explain what the idea is? Because we've discussed it
basically,
previously.
We have. I think it's our marathon movie idea where we're going to pick a series, a minimum of 5 films.
Yeah.
We're then going to just marathon through it, and in between each film, we're not reviewing the film. We talk about the film and what we thought of it.
review the film, but more our experience of how we're losing our mind doing it. Yeah, because
it's reviewing the film in the context of we've just watched like 8 hours of films.
Yeah.
How does the 5th film hold up when you get to this point? And the answer, it turns out...
Yeah, the first series we chose was Paranormal Activity.
Liam's choice.
I mean, I thought this is a great way to get 5 films off my list before the end of the year.
It was a desperate attempt.
It wasn't enough, but
no,
it was a good try.
We'll get to it, Liam.
Yep. So we made a mistake.
We started at 3 p.m.
4 p.m.
Oh, 4, sorry.
Yeah. And when you've got 5 films to go through...
Yeah.
And really, you got to factor in like 2 hours for each film, because even though they were only 90 minutes, we had to have half an hour of recording our thoughts on it, and yeah. So we were up very late.
We were up very late. I had stuff to do the next day. This was literally the day before New Year's, so it was like I was like, I have to go home at some point and get ready for New Year's.
Yeah, I mean, we both had another late night the next day because it was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So we made some mistakes, basically, but we figured out how to improve it going forward.
Yeah, we're just going to start earlier.
Yeah, you're going to come down the night before we were going to start, so we can get up and start straight away.
Yeah, and to be fair, usually I come and visit you for like a weekend.
Yeah.
Whereas this was very much like, I'm down for a day, staying the night, and then just getting up and going.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you'll have to listen to the bonus episode whenever that's ready to find out.
Yeah, it will come out at some point. We're going to try and tie it in with a culture swap we're doing, so it should be soon. I reckon it will be not the next episode, maybe the one after. It will come out just before then. Is that right? Or the one after that?
One after that.
Okay, one after
that. If everything goes to plan.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Listeners, we have plans this year.
Yeah, this year's planned up to 3 episodes ahead.
Which for us is impressive.
Fucking impressive. You should all be cheering us, really.
New Year. How was your New Year?
It was good. Went to a mate's house. Had a good old time. We literally... So, my New Year's, we turned up. I came with... What did I was drinking a bottle of rum. And Coke, obviously. So I got there. We were all chatting, doing the usual New Year stuff. And then me, Dan Palmer, Becky, and
Who's
Robin.
Becky?
One of my friend Ed's wife.
Did I meet her? Was she there?
They might have been on their honeymoon.
Okay.
So, or did Ed come? Oh, maybe. I can't remember if they were at the other party or not. But anyway... So there were 4 of us. We didn't separate ourselves from the main group, but we got control of YouTube. Oh, and Sam, who's been on the podcast before. We got control of the YouTube that was playing on the TV.
Yeah. And
created a New Year's Eve playlist that everyone had to listen to till 1 a.m.
What sort of stuff would be?
To be fair, it was a lot of good stuff. We were throwing in, just tons
Robbie
of
Williams,
classic
Millennium.
I don't know if it was Millennium, but there was definitely Robbie Williams. I think Angels, possibly.
Oh, okay.
A lot of sing-along, like, Westlife.
Rock DJ?
It wasn't just all Robbie Williams. You're listing a lot of Robbie Williams songs.
Okay.
There was a bit of Ironic on there.
Yeah.
Zombie came up by the Cranberries.
Yeah. So I know music.
You do. But yeah, we literally, at one point, the rest of the group were like, we're playing Ring of Fire, let's get drunk. Okay. And all 5 of us who were sitting there went, no. And they were like, sorry, no, everyone's playing. And we went, no, we're singing along with the TV. And we literally just spent the rest of New Year's. Literally, it got to the point where we had to cut stuff off the playlist because we were like, this has to end before midnight.
Yeah,
so we just cut songs.
Did you do Old Lang Syne?
I very loudly sang Old Lang Syne.
Do you actually know the words to
it? No, I sing Old Lang Syne, that bit, and then I sort of make some noises to the tune of Old Lang Syne.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
We also, there was because my group, we've got a few like musical people who play instruments.
Yeah.
They then tried to play a couple of songs, which me and Sam spent the rest of the night ruining by singing 500 Miles over the top of them very loudly.
Oh, you must be the worst at a party.
No, we found it hilarious.
Yeah, but I imagine the people that were also trying to have fun by playing their musical instruments probably did not find it so hilarious.
No, I don't think they did, but
No.
it was very funny.
I mean, just for the audience that are listening here, Ellie is currently just giggling to herself at the thought of ruining these other people's New Year's Eve celebrations.
They're all my friends, so they weren't. It wasn't ruined.
Well,
and then Sam went home with Palmer and Rowden and Jess, so then I couldn't. I was like, I won't ruin your songs anymore by myself. They live together. Not you.
That's not the way it sounded.
Liam pulled a face as if to say, "Ooh, what an exciting night."
Yeah, that's an exciting night for Jess.
Jesus. Yeah, it was very good. I had a really good time.
Good.
And then I then about 2 a.m. I think, or was it just after 1? Whatever. I was like, I'm gonna go home because I want to get some sleep. I've been up very late the night before.
Yeah.
And then I half walked home because Ubers were so expensive, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And then about halfway home, Uber prices were dropping. I was like, oh, I've clearly like got out of the rush.
Yeah.
Because they do their like surge charge or whatever.
I live in like places that don't really have Uber, so
okay. Well, basically, Uber like detects when lots of people are ordering Uber, and the price increases by a multiplicate. Like it will say like this is a 1.8 charge. So it's timesing it by 1.8, and like New Year's Eve, everyone's Ubering, so it was going up to like 2.5. It was like 30 quid for a 20-minute journey.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not paying that. So then
what
it
if you
dropped
just
to
use
about
like
12.
a traditional taxi?
On New Year's, have you ever tried to book a cab on New Year's?
No.
It's impossible.
Okay.
You have to basically pre-order a cab that
yeah.
morning, being like, I need you to pay. And even then they'll be like, no.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like it dropped to like 12 quid, and I was like, I'm willing to pay that to get home and not have to walk.
Yeah.
So I booked it, and I was watching. You can see on the map. I don't know if you know this, Liam.
Yeah. I've used it before. I just don't tend to get them in my area.
Wow.
I used it in America.
A horse-drawn carriage turns up.
Yeah.
A farmer just goes, I'll take you back to your house.
I live in the city.
But so this guy, I see on the map, I can see where he's, because it says, he's dropping someone off.
Yeah.
And I could see that he was dropping them off in the road I was in.
Yeah.
And then picking me up. And what that guy did is he fucking cancelled my trip after I waited for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He cancelled. And I was like, I wonder what, like, I was like, oh, why did he cancel? I saw him drive past me because I was like, well, he's going to have to drive past me and I'm going to fucking glare at him because I know he's dropping her off near me. So then I glared at him as he went past. And then I looked at the Uber app and the prices had gone up again. And I was like, that cheeky son of a bitch cancelled me so that he could get the higher charge, which I totally get. But then the next guy that actually picked me up and was really sweet and really nice, and I was talking to him, and he was like, oh, people try and do like the opposite effectively, where they'll ask how long the Uber's going to be so they can cancel and get a cheaper deal. So he was like, oh, it's really shit when people do that. And I was sitting there, and I was like, it is, and that is 100% what that Uber driver did to me. So like both sides are doing it. But he was very nice. I gave him a tip. He wasn't a dick like the first one. That was my New Year's, Liam.
Okay. What
did you do? It was your mum's birthday.
Yeah, so January 1st was my mum's birthday. Here's the problem with New Year's Eve. Kat was sick. So...
okay, she was sick. Because what is the current thing is what? Kat gets too drunk on New Year's and then can't go to the birthday meal.
Yeah.
That's the...
Yeah. So, do you remember how literally the night before when you were down, me and Kat ordered Indian food and you ordered pizza?
Yeah.
Do you remember Kat wasn't feeling too good that night either after eating Indian food and went to bed early? Yeah, it turns out she thinks her lamb wasn't cooked properly. So she was sick
I'm not laughing at you, Kat. I'm just laughing because Liam was very insistent on having Indian.
The thing is, we've ordered from
You
there
could almost
before,
blame
and
him.
now we're not ordering from there again.
No, that's fair.
And it's a shame. The food is nice, and mine was nice, but even I would not want to risk it if they can't even cook lamb correctly.
No.
So yeah, it was a shame. Like I had to essentially leave Kat here by herself on New Year's Eve, which I felt bad about. But equally, it was my mum's birthday,
Correctly.
and equally, I didn't want to spend.
Really
I didn't want to spend New Year's Eve just sat here.
Wow, you abandoned your girlfriend to spend New Year's Eve with your mum.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Such a little mama's boy.
Well, she did give me a surround sound system, so she earned my company on New Year's Eve, or she bought it. I don't know which one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went there, and it was just like the thing is, without Kat being there, it wasn't as good because what my mum likes to do is go to her local pub that always has like a thing on. This
isn't it. They always have a guy playing.
No,
is it Elvis songs?
They've had Elvis.
Or was that just one?
Just one time they had Elvis before.
Okay.
Last year, I can't remember who it was. Tina Turner, I think it was last year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This year it was Blondie.
Oh, okay, but Heart of Glass is a good song.
I didn't realise how many Blondie songs I knew just from films and stuff.
Yeah.
The woman that did Blondie honestly wasn't great.
Yeah.
Bit pitchy, very warbly. I know, I'm like Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
But they normally finish by like 10:30, and then just a normal DJ comes on.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
So we tend to get there for about 10 anyway. So we only have
so you're just seeing the end of the set.
Yeah. The issue is it all finished at like 1, which I thought was quite early on New Year's Eve.
That does feel. I mean, that is quite early. Like, I can see why, but you'd think if you were like a pub and people were going there for New Year's, you'd open late.
Yeah, first you'd put drink prices up a little bit because it's New Year's Eve, obviously. Or what they did is they charged you tickets, right?
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you think just stay open till 2 because people are obviously going to be buying drinks. Yeah. You're going to be making. I don't know. It seemed odd to me to be shut at 1. Whatever.
I think that is a bit. That is weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was alright, but it was like me, Mum, Ian, and then some of their friends, and I was just like, normally I have Kat there, and we just chat about like our fun stuff.
I thought you were about to say naughty stuff, and I was so confused.
No, like our fun stuff, like
yeah.
Not naughty stuff, but like films and stuff. And the adults talk about like adult things like bills and taxes and the government. So yeah, I was a bit lost really, but then Kat was better for my mum's birthday lunch. So she drove over. She actually managed to have lunch, which was
that's nice.
Yeah, a nice change. But next year, or technically this year, I guess.
Yep, this year.
My mum's planning on doing a house party.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Because Kat has kind of got sick of going to this pub. Ian had a really bad time because he feels like he got left with a guy that doesn't drink. And he really struggled, while me, my mum, and my mum's friends just went and danced on the dance floor.
I love that. I love that you're part of that group as opposed to Ian. Like, not that Ian got left out. The fact that you didn't go with Ian. Like, usually that's the sort of stereotypical thing, wouldn't it? It's you'd go and be with Ian, being like, oh, women are dancing, but you're just like, me, my mum, and her friends went and partied on the dance floor.
Yeah, I love a good dance.
I know you do, bud.
Yeah, so obviously I'm going to choose that option. But yeah, so house party next year, I don't know. It could be interesting. It's been a long time since my mum threw a house party. Like, we used to do it in our old house when I was like a teenager growing up.
Yeah.
So we're talking a while back now. But, you know, we'll see. I'll keep you posted for our next New Year special.
Cheers, bud.
The only other thing for catching up with is I have an eye update.
Yes.
So people who are following the chronicles of Liam potentially going blind, got my genetic results back from the hospital. Turns out the gene that's gone wrong in me is something that can lead to this thing called Usher's syndrome, which is the leading cause of deafness and blindness in people. But I've got this like 2A version of it, which apparently like it affects your hearing from birth. So my hearing now is like either previously affected, or you can get this version of it that doesn't really affect hearing. Now, as a kid growing up, I did have to used to go for like hearing tests and stuff, and at one point was recommended a hearing aid, but I kind of just, it's not bad enough that I kind of need that.
Yeah. So you've got whatever your bad ears are currently. You're at the worst level of it.
Yeah,
sort of
it's
thing.
not progressive, so it shouldn't get worse. With the eyes, typically with this version, it will lead to blind spots in the peripheral vision, which I've already got. Kat was reading there's like some Facebook group for people that suffer with this sort of thing. Someone described what they have as basically what I have, which is like donut vision, which I thought was a nice way of describing it, where you have these like blind spots that are like these two rings, but then you can see sort of on the peripheral and then in the middle of them.
Got you.
So I currently have like quite thin versions of that, which over time could potentially probably will grow, but typically with this it won't lead to full blindness. So
you just have sort of visual impairment.
Essentially tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Which could lead to getting bad enough to be classified as legally blind.
But you wouldn't be fully blind.
Yeah.
Which is the thing you were most worried about.
Exactly. I should still be able to.
It's still not great.
It's still
But
not great.
it's better than we were worried it would be, right?
Exactly, yeah. And so the FDA, which I think is some like drug thing in America.
Yeah, the Federal Drugs and No, is it? No, I don't know what they are.
No, I don't know. But
Yeah, is it Federal Drugs and Alcohol? They like monitor like all that stuff and make it.
possibly. I don't
They
know.
regulate all that stuff. Whatever. Yeah, it's not important.
They've fast-tracked a clinical trial for a potential cure for this like type 2 of Usher syndrome, which I have. Now, I don't know how complex this like thing is, so it could be like Usher type 2 is just a very umbrella term, and then there's lots of different mutations of it. So I don't know if this clinical trial will necessarily apply to me, but I think it's quite positive news that one, they fast-tracked it, and two, they're actually working on it, because in my mind, if they can fix one version of it, they'll probably be able to replicate that for other mutations within that branch.
And if not, robot eyes.
I mean, I watched Ghost in the Shell, and I have to admit, like, the dude that got the robot eyes in that, I was like, that's not terrible. But
No,
equally,
he's got pretty cool robot eyes.
I would be happy to not have robot eyes and just
Yeah,
have...
that's fair.
The thing that they currently work on is just injections. You get like one injection that, in theory, will last you for life and will
Bit boring.
fix the problem.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
So that is good news.
Yeah, basically, still shitty that I have it, and
Not as shitty.
yeah, vision is still declining, but I kind of feel like there's like hope at the end of it potentially.
Yeah.
And that like, hopefully now we're looking at a case of years for a fix instead of like maybe in my lifetime there'll be a fix.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and that's good news.
Yeah, it is.
And that's probably better news than last year's New Year's
Yes.
episode where it was like, so
Liam might go blind.
yeah, that hopefully won't happen now. Fingers crossed. You never know. Someone could like acid attack me or something.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that could happen to anyone.
Yeah. That's not a use. Although, with the way you are, I feel like you've got at least like a couple of percentage points higher than me chance of getting acid attacked.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll see. It's part of the risks of living.
Hey,
in the
listen,
city.
if we've got any like crazy fanatical listeners out there, don't do it.
No. Leave us a good review on iTunes. Do that.
Yeah.
But just
This
draw
is a
the
funny.
line
This
there,
is a funny
really.
joke. The acid attack thing's a funny joke.
I mean, it's
Don't
not
attack
that
Liam with
funny.
acid. Don't attack me with acid.
It's not really a funny
Just
joke.
don't attack anyone with acid.
The acid attack thing isn't a funny joke. It's a damning critique on the fact that our society is currently in a position where this is a very real threat.
Let's review our favourite things from 2018.
So this is the part of the show that every year
Yeah.
everyone looks forward to, I think. By everyone, I mean our regular
Probably Amanda.
listeners, Amanda and Tom. And in all
I don't know if
honesty,
Tom looks forward to it. I think
No.
Tom likes the episodes, but I don't know if he's ever been like, oh yeah, I fucking love the year in review.
I think it's his favourite bit.
We'll see.
From what I know of Tom, I would not be surprised.
No, that's fair.
Alright, so we kick off our favourite moments, our favourite things of 2018 with our favourite moments from the podcast, because we're that self-indulgent.
I feel like this was originally Liam's idea. In fact, I know for a fact it was originally Liam's idea. It's a very Liam thing.
My favourite podcast moment.
No, what? You start with your fifth favourite and then you work up to your favourite. You don't start with the best thing and then work down. You're having to reorder your entire list.
My fifth favourite moment on the podcast of 2018 was a very recent one, actually.
Yeah.
Last episode, when you... Actually, no, before that, when you got me to choose between the 3 different Christmas eroticas that we would end up reading.
Yeah, I think it was a nice gift to you. I let you pick.
Yeah. And
it was also a nice gift to you because you got to read some porno.
Yeah, exactly. And, well, you know, it was interesting and inspiring.
Blood Streaks wasn't great.
No, that was a particular low light. But I've written 6,000 words of my own now, which just needs to be shaped, shall we say.
Yeah, you got to trim it down a little bit.
It was inspirational.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. You know, it's got you to do something creative.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait for you to see it when it's finished, but it's going to take
I'm
me
excited.
a while to finish it because I've got this idea in mind and I've gone, well, we'll see.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's not good.
Fucking hell.
What was your 5th favourite moment of the podcast?
My 5th favourite moment, Liam, was when you came face to face with something I've longed for you to have to do for years, which was you were confronted with the fact that you aren't perfect. And that was when Liam got us to watch Feast and then had to read his own review of Feast, where he was very much a fan.
Oh, I thought it was going to be when I found out I was going blind.
No!
I was going to say,
I do realise
that was really
it
mean.
did sound a little bit like I was leading up to that, and that's not what I was doing. I was talking about Feast.
Yeah, Feast was when I kind of realised that young Liam maybe wasn't the best Liam.
No, because we hate that film, and young Liam was a fan.
I don't think I was necessarily a fan, but I thought it was all right at least.
Someone will find that sound snippet. I'm pretty positive he said he just bloody loved it.
We watched all three of them, didn't we, in the end?
Yeah, we fucking did.
Yeah. I mean, you have to admit, the third one has a bold ending.
That ends with the robots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, I don't care. It's Feast. If any of you are upset that I spoiled Feast,
It's
fuck off.
Feast 3, The Happy Finish, I believe.
Oh, yeah, something like that. Yeah, that was my favourite moment. Number 4 for you, Liam?
Number 4 for me was my first High School Musical book that you kindly got me for my birthday.
How is that a favourite moment?
Just entering this world of High School Musical fiction. So here's the thing, right? I've got a review coming of book 3, not on this episode, but on a future episode.
Okay.
And we wouldn't have got to that without book 1.
That's true. I do love how long it is taking you to read these books, because they are abysmal.
They are, however, it's also because I've been trying to put like proper books in between each one. And the last
so that your
proper
IQ doesn't drop. As a High School Musical book slowly lowers your IQ, you then read a good book to just bring it back up a little bit.
Exactly, but the last book I read was not a good one, and it took me a long time to read. Well,
yes.
I started reading it when I got back from Croatia, which was that the start of September or the end of September? Sometime in September.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't like as long as it took you to do American Psycho, but...
No, but it was still a long time.
Like a quarter of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I didn't necessarily enjoy the book, but I enjoyed reviewing the book.
Well, fair enough. That's good, I think. My number 4, Liam.
Yeah.
I've just written here, guests. And I'll be honest, listeners, I think I'm pandering. I think I'm just sort of putting that in for the guests.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite low down, though, so I don't think... If
Well,
you
yeah,
are
it's
a
not
guest,
my favourite moment. I liked having the guests on.
Which guests did we have on?
Sam, Jason and Lee, I believe.
Yeah,
we
had
had any others this year?
a very light year for guests.
We did bad this year with guests.
We
There
don't-
might have been... Did we have any specials this year with guests on?
We had a
No,
couple of specials,
jeez.
but we also did really bad for specials this year too.
We did do bad with specials.
I think we did a Black Panther one, an Infinity War one, and did we do a Thor Ragnarok one in the end?
Oh, I don't think we did.
I know you said in your review of Thor Ragnarok, so I've just edited
that
that
we
for
would.
YouTube, that we definitely would.
We will. I think that's the running gag, is I keep saying we're going to do that special at some point.
No, I think what we do is we get to a point where...
Liam just pulled this, like, almost... I don't know, he honestly looked like he might throw up at the idea that he's about to say.
For some reason, in the last 24 hours, we had 91 listens.
I saw that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, we did Avengers Infinity War special. Anyway, yeah, at some point we might get to a point where... Yeah, Black Panther, no Thor Ragnarok. Where we do the Marvel movies as one of our like back-to-back film series.
Oh, that's true. That would be so long. Anyway, this is beside the point. I liked having the guests on. Having guests on is always fun. We need to have more guests on.
And that's the plan for this year.
Yeah.
And I want to try and get some new guests on as well, which we're in the process of discussing.
Yeah.
I've shortlisted a few people. You haven't. But you now need to vet the people that I've shortlisted to make sure that they're not like transphobic.
Good.
What
was your third favourite moment from the podcast, Liam?
Finally, we've been building up to it for literally years. Finally getting you to watch and then discuss Barefoot Gen. An anime movie has made my list of top 5 moments of the year. Sit on that.
Well, we knew that because it's your favourite anime movie of all time. And your only anime movie that you like.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was
I'm
great,
not
though.
surprised.
I really enjoyed discussing it. I think
I think that was that was a good discussion we had.
we had some good, like, heavy-going
more
discussions.
Yeah,
We had a little one of them, didn't we, at one point?
There was a little bit of a...
Did we do
little thing
Barefoot
going on.
Gen, and then... Was that the same time we did, like, Her Story?
Yeah, I think it was around the same time, yeah.
But yeah,
Look at us.
I'm pleased that you finally got to see the movie that I consider the best anime film that I've seen.
And I'm glad I saw it because it's a good film.
And now you know what has to be topped for me when it comes to anime, so good luck.
Yeah, but I've already done that, but you refuse to accept it.
Your Name is not better.
Well, it's my favourite movie of all time.
Well, what's your third now, isn't it?
My third favourite thing, Liam, third favourite moment, was the Blu-ray saga that we had from you. Your ongoing struggles to get your Blu-ray player fixed.
Yeah.
That was a highlight for me. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the running. It was like a saga, like
It really
an ancient
was.
Viking saga.
Yeah. It spanned multiple episodes.
Yeah, it was Liam's Blu-ray player broke, and he's just constantly had it sent back, and it wasn't fixed, and he had to go and try and get it fixed.
4 months, I think, in total before I finally got a refund for it.
It was insane.
My new Blu-ray player that I've had since currently works like a dream.
I'm so glad.
It's a multi-region one though, and they typically have a lifespan of 1 to 2 years, and then they just fuck up.
Oh, good.
So we'll cross that bridge. My second favourite moment, I put the guests much higher as my second favourite when we had Jason and Leon, and we had Sam on to talk about wrestling. It's always a good time when we have guests on. It's nice to have some reprieve from your nonsense. But not only that, when we guested on the Too Fast Too Forever podcast, is that what it's called? I think it is.
Yeah. That was a good moment. I guess it's not a moment of the podcast, but that would be up there if it was.
I tie it into the podcast because we wouldn't have done that if it weren't for Nerd on Nerd.
Yeah, fair.
So,
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
My number 2, Liam, was I don't have to read American Psycho anymore. That's all. I don't need to talk more about it.
A solid year, didn't it?
Yes,
a
I hated
solid year
it.
to read that book. It was amazing.
Killed my reading.
Yeah, because I don't know if long-term listeners might remember this. Newcomers won't, obviously. Ellie liked her sci-fi and fantasy books, and we were getting like 3 or 4 reviews from like a fantasy series or something in one episode.
Yeah.
And it was doing my nut in, and I hated it. And then Ellie, for some reason, agreed to read books that I recommended, and I lulled her into this false sense of security by recommending this like Scott Sigler book.
Well, you started with Fluke, and that was
no. Scott Sigler was first, I think.
No. Fluke was definitely the first one, and then I was annoyed that you recommended me Fluke, and then you gave me Scott Sigler, and were like, "Oh, well, look, here's one that you'll like," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I do like that." And then you gave me American Psycho, which you hadn't read since you were like
a teenager. The thing, not only that though, but other people had said, other listeners had written in and said, "Oh, we really want to hear your thoughts on this."
Well, they've had them now. I can't remember what episode I reviewed.
I think the people that were waiting for that gave up and stopped listening.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's bad. I hated American Psycho.
Yeah, it really did kill your reviews, and it's also sort of killed your book reviews going forward.
I've not been reading. I still haven't gone back to reading.
I know, which is a shame because I know there's some book series that have like continued in that year space. So
yeah, there's a bunch of books that came out that I want to read because they're parts of like series that I loved.
Yeah,
and you killed my reading.
I did. You're welcome, listeners.
I don't know why I put that as a top moment, because really it's also, whilst not having to read American Psycho is very good, the fact that it's stopped me reading more is very bad.
Yeah, it is.
You've made me sad now, Liam. What's your favourite moment?
This is also going to make you sad, though, because part of my favourite moment is making you sad. It was when I made Helly... It's not your name. When I made Ellie... it's because the next word is have, and I was reading as I was going, and I got myself all
you just combined it.
I made Ellie have a Zac Efron musical day. This was for my 30th birthday. I threw myself a little 30th birthday celebration. I had all Zac Efron themed stuff. We had themed cutlery, plates, fridge magnets. That should have been your moment when you swapped over the fridge names.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that until you just said fridge magnets.
We had bunting. High School Musical bunting. I had a Zac Efron cake.
Yep.
It was brilliant. We watched The Greatest Showman. We went to the cinema. We saw that in IMAX.
Yep.
Then we came back and we watched High School Musical 1 to 3. 1 and 3 with sing-along lyrics, 2 without because the Blu-ray is ridiculous. And then we watched Hairspray. We watched 5 Zac Efron musicals in the space of a day. Probably my favourite day of all of last year. It
didn't make me sad because Hairspray's a good film, Greatest Showman's a good film, and I like Hanakuma, Huna, Kuna, Muna, Nuna, Aqua, whatever that song's called.
I think you've watched the High School Musical trilogy twice now. There has to be more to it than one song that you like.
No, that song's very good.
Think about it.
It's a good song.
Yeah, but there's something else in it that you like.
I like Kelsey
There we go. See, so it's all worthwhile.
because I like a minor character. She seems very cool and whatever. Liam,
It's
you've
all
annoyed me.
worthwhile.
You were correct. This has annoyed me.
Yeah, it was a Zac Efron musical day. It was my favourite day. And we had Zac Efron cupcakes as well. Oh, and we played High School Musical 3 Mystery Date, don't forget.
Oh, we did. Yeah, that's a very good game.
It was brilliant. Best day
So
ever.
bad.
Honestly. I need to do something for my 31st, really, but I don't know what.
Yeah, you can't really do Zac Efron twice in a row because I won't come.
Oh, man, I wish I could, though. I could do, like, 5 non-musical Zac Efron films.
Oh yeah, I'd even less likely to come.
I could say I'm not doing Zac Efron, and then get you here, and then you'll be like, why is all the Zac Efron bunting up again?
To be fair, that would be very funny.
Yeah, and it would be too late then. You'd have already done the drive. You'd be like, I might as well stay. What's the first Zac Efron film? And I'd be like, Baywatch.
I haven't seen that. I want to see it.
It's good. And I don't think you've seen Dirty Grandpa either, have you?
No.
Which is also good.
See,
Have you seen...
there are films you can pick.
Yeah, have you seen Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates?
Nope.
Also, I think you'd enjoy that.
Fair enough.
17 Again. Have you seen that?
Nope.
That's a good one. And then just to top it all off, I'd make you watch like the Derby Stallion or something.
Yeah, I thought you were going to put that one in there.
You've got it.
My favourite moment, Liam,
Yeah, go on. Hit me
of
with
2018
it. Yeah.
was a classic. I think it's going into podcast legend. It was when Liam had a bad time at a communications workshop. You could almost say he failed to communicate.
Or I communicated too well.
Listeners, honestly, if you are a new listener, I don't even remember what episode it's on. We'd have to track it down. One day it'll be on YouTube. Ask someone, tweet us, I'll find it for you. There is an episode where Liam has a very, very awkward, just the worst experience at a communications workshop, and I loved every minute of hearing it. It makes me crack up laughing every time I hear it.
I don't know what episode it was. I was looking to see, but the episode
Yeah.
descriptions aren't particularly...
No, they're not helpful. Yeah, it's just pure podcast gold in my opinion. And it's not because I know you didn't enjoy it,
It was awful.
but it's very funny. You've got to be able to look back on it and be like, that's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is the thing, right? When you're a podcaster, you can't really have a bad day because it makes for podcast entertainment at the end of the day. That's how I justify my pathetic existence to myself.
Oh jeez, don't make it depressing.
No day's a bad day when you've got a podcast.
True.
If we
Great.
had t-shirts, that would make a great t-shirt, wouldn't it?
God, no day's a bad day when you have a podcast. No, it's so I hate it. Let's move on. Liam's making everything depressing.
Am I?
No, you're fine.
Good.
What do you want to do next?
Video games?
Yep, let's do games.
Can I start with my honourable mention?
Oh yeah, chuck in your honourable mention here, Liam.
Tetris Effect.
To be fair, it's on my honourable mentions list as well.
Because I made you play it, didn't I?
Yeah, it's fucking annoying because it is just Tetris,
But it's also...
but I want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know why.
I think you should wait until it's in a sale because 30 quid for just
Yeah.
Tetris is a bit rich. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty expensive.
yeah, when I first got it and I tweeted something like, I'm using the power of VR to play Tetris, Amanda responded to that tweet being like, this is very on brand for you. And I feel like...
Yeah, because you're like an ancient Egyptian deity trapped in a body, and so you understand technology. You can use VR,
Yeah.
but only to play things like Tetris. I get it.
Yeah. Honestly though, I've when I first played it, I didn't really like it, but it has that weird, like, obviously that like Tetris thing where you're like, but I'll keep playing it, and if I start playing it, I can guarantee that's like 3 hours of my life gone.
Yeah, it's very relaxing. It's got music.
It's
The
not always
music's
relaxing.
fine. Well, no, I imagine it gets stressful, but
Yeah, but you know,
it deserves to be on the honourable mentions. We've had fun laughing about you playing it.
yeah,
It needs to be mentioned.
yeah. So, do you want to start us off with number 5?
Yep, number 5, Liam, is a latecomer to my list.
Okay.
I got it for Christmas for myself. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
This is on the Switch.
Yep, on the Nintendo Switch. It's made me start taking my Switch to work so I can play it on the way in and the way home.
Okay.
It's addictive as shit, dude. Like, it's not like they've done anything crazy. It's Super Smash Bros. Again,
Yeah,
but
it
with
is
more
essentially
characters.
Nintendo characters beating each other up, right?
Not just Nintendo. Solid Snake's in there.
Okay.
There's a bunch. There's a couple of Cloud from Final Fantasy's in there this year.
Yeah.
Mega Man, who's not exclusively Nintendo's in there. Like they make deals with the other companies to get a couple of like cameo appearances, and it's just fun. Like it's the kind of game that if you're playing with people that are very good at Super Smash Bros, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
If you're playing it against the computers at a level that you find comfortable, it's very fun. It's a good time waster.
Are there characters to unlock?
Yes, you start with.
I like that.
You start with like 6 unlocks, and there's something like 60 characters to unlock.
Oh, that's cool. I hate like the. I get why they do it, but the fighting games where they start with everything unlocked. I'm like, well, what am I working towards?
Yeah, this one's interesting because so you've got you've got tons of game modes, but there's like 2 main ones effectively. There's the single player story mode, which is called Spirits, and that's all about you start with one character. And in that game, you go around doing these like special scenario fights where it's like you're fighting this character, but he's always giant.
Yeah,
the stage is ice, and you can only pick up this item, and so it gives you like these weird rule sets that you've got to beat. And in that mode, you unlock characters for that mode, and you don't get them outside.
Okay.
But then in the outside mode, the way you unlock characters in Super Smash Bros is just by playing the game. Like you play it, and then it will at a certain point, like when you've had enough battles or whatever, it will say challenger approaching. You have to fight them and beat them to unlock them.
Cool.
And you can also then just every time you complete the classic mode, which is 6 fights in a set order and then a boss fight.
Yeah.
Every time you complete that with a character, you unlock their next character. And like everyone has a chain they follow of unlocks.
Yeah.
And like if you've already unlocked one of them, it will just jump to the next one or pick a random one from someone else. So that's how I unlocked everyone. Was I just went, I'm going to play all the classic mode.
Yeah, makes sense.
There's a goal then.
Yeah. Yeah. I got really into it when it came out on GameCube.
Yeah.
But I haven't really got into a Nintendo console since then. Like I tried the Wii, I tried the Wii U. I just didn't really get into it.
Do you have a Switch?
No.
No.
Kat wouldn't let me buy one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Because I'd already bought a Wii and Wii U and never played them, so she was like, maybe don't get a Switch.
That's the thing. Like my Switch is so like on and off. Like
yeah,
I'll go months without playing it, but then something I actually want to play comes out like this, and I'll get really into it.
Yeah, I think we've discussed this in the past, and you disagree, and that's fine. But for me, I'd get way more into Nintendo stuff if it did have like an achievement or trophy system.
Well, Smash Bros kind of does. It's just not a console-wide thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue.
Silly that you need it to be console-wide, but whatever.
It just gives me like. It gives me things to work towards and that nice little
just Super Smash Bros.
Satisfaction when things unlock. I'm simple.
What's your 5th place, Liam?
I don't know if this made it onto your list in the end, but my 5th place is God of War.
It's on my list.
Okay, we did a culture swap about it, so if you want to hear my thoughts on God of War, go check out the culture swap. I still think one of the most fun things that I did this year was throw an axe and then recall it through an enemy.
Yep, that is just fun. Trip them over.
Yeah.
All that jazz.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree, and that's why it's number 4 on my list. So
makes sense. Number 4 on my list is Spyro, the Reignited trilogy.
Well, this is going to bloody shock you, Liam, but that's number 3 on my list. So
you've played more of it than I have, because I've still only played
I've completed the second one.
Yeah.
And I'm playing the third one.
I really need to go back into it, but I'm distracted by other games that we'll get to in a moment.
It's just fun. It's just a fun game.
It's fun and relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to stress. You can just put it on, do some levels, run around as a dragon, breathe some fire,
do some skateboarding.
Headbutts, do a bit of skateboarding.
Yeah.
It's great. I love Spyro. I used to love it as a kid, so it makes sense that I love it now.
Yeah, it hits that nostalgia.
Yeah.
In at number 3, I have Marvel's Spider-Man.
Only number 3.
Only number 3. It was fun. I had a couple of niggles with it. Again, I think we did... Did we do a culture swap on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so go listen to that if you want to hear my thoughts. I have brought the DLC. I just haven't got around to playing it yet. But
yeah, I haven't bought it yet because I knew I wouldn't play it yet.
It was in the sale, so I was like, I'll get it while it's in the sale.
Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah, but...
Oh, well.
Yeah, I'm planning on getting around to it once I'm done with some other stuff like Spyro and the other games that are coming up.
Yep. My number 2, Liam.
Yep.
Monster Hunter World.
That's surprisingly high.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't know if it would have made it onto the list, except I didn't realise quite how much time I'd spent playing Monster Hunter World until Sony told me in that little video.
Yeah.
And then I went, Yeah, that's a fair point, because I fucking love it. So I should... it needs to be on the list.
I keep seeing...
It's my most played game on PlayStation, apparently.
Yeah, I keep seeing on Twitter and stuff that they're releasing like this Frozen Wastes expansion.
Yeah. I need to go back to it at some point. I'm hoping, if there's enough content that's been put out since I last played it, hopefully it will just be like, you go back in and you're like, oh, there's like a whole new world of stuff to do.
Well, let me know if you are going back to it, and I'll join you, because I think I would struggle playing it by myself, but playing it together, it was all right.
Yeah.
But I liked it, but I feel like I got to a point in it where I was like, oh, I've learnt this weapon, that I know what I'm doing. Well, I'd learnt a couple of weapons. I was taking down like big old dragon things, and I was getting to a stage where what I was doing was relying on other people also knowing what they were doing, and that's just a real crapshoot. Like, you'd get into a team and like 3 out of 5 times everyone would immediately die, and then the other 2 times the team would kind of work together and know what they're doing, and you'd get through it, and it didn't become fun just rolling the dice and seeing what type of team you'd get.
No, fair. What's your number 2, Liam?
My number 2 is a game called Moss.
Yes.
Which was recommended to me by Dan Palmer, friend of the show, previous guest. It's a VR game. Yeah, I've got massively into VR in the last.
Liam's basically living in an alternate reality at this point in time.
Oh, I wish. I've got way into it. It's ridiculous, honestly. What happened is my old VR headset, where I used to live, was like just stuck next to the TV in a bunch of wires. And every time I wanted to play it, I had to plug it into my PlayStation, because my PlayStation, the first version of the VR headset, didn't allow 4K to pass through.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do like 4K gaming, I'd have to like unplug everything. It was just a faff. It was a nightmare. In the Black Friday sales, they released the second version of the headset in like a nice little deal. I brought it. I've set it up in my TV, so it's like nicely in a compartment in my TV stand. All the wires are put away. I don't have to keep unplugging it and plugging it in anymore. I want to play VR. I just grab the headset out, stick it on, and away I go. I've got way into it, like too into it.
Yeah.
I can't stop playing VR
at the moment. Liam has... Did you post it on Twitter, or did you send it to us, the photo of you after 3 hours of VR?
I sent it to you. I didn't post it on Twitter. It was not good.
That's a good decision. Liam honestly looked like someone had punched him in the face and cut up his nose, because the VR had been pressing his glasses into his face for 3 hours.
Yeah. And the indentation was real deep.
Yeah, it was very deep and very red.
Yes. It was not a good look.
No.
But yeah, so in Moss, you play as this little mouse with a sword, and it's this like... Essentially, it's a fantasy story that you're kind of going through, and it's just delightful. It's quite short. I completed it in like 3 gaming sessions of maybe like 2 to 3 hours each.
I think it was one of the like early releases for VR on PlayStation. I remember it being around.
Possibly. But it came out in 2018.
Maybe it wasn't that early release.
No, because VR was out in 2017, I believe.
Fair enough.
And this came out Feb 2018.
All right, Liam, Jesus.
It's really good though. You should play it. I think you dig it. Again, it was in the sale. Dan kept banging on about it. I thought, yeah, I tend to like what Dan digs. Sometimes he likes puzzle games a bit more than I do.
Liam's not good at puzzles.
Do you know what though? Me and Kat started playing Static together.
Oh, is that... Yeah, are you playing it together? So what, one of you's watching the TV...
Yeah,
the other one's
and she'll be like, oh, have you thought of trying this? And I'll be like, of course I have. Let's try it.
Oh, it sounds... And then that works, and you're like, oh, I must have done it slightly wrong last time.
Yeah.
But that was my idea, you're just helping.
Yeah, like Kat hates puzzles and hates VR, so she'd never actually give it a go herself. But we're quite enjoying playing that together, and I really want to try playing that Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes with her, because I've got it, and I just haven't played it yet.
Alright, you two would just fall out playing that.
Yep, can't wait. So yeah, my number 2 was Moss. It's a VR game, and it's delightful.
Fair enough. My number 1, Liam, was Marvel Spider-Man. So
again,
it just made it to number 1 on my list.
Go listen to our
because I really liked it.
Yeah, that's understandable. It was a good game.
You will notice, listeners, you will notice as well that Red Dead Redemption 2 is not on my list, which surprised me.
Yeah.
Because I really like it.
Yeah.
But I just don't like it quite as much as I'm liking everything else. So...
I'm surprised that Monster Hunter World was above Red Dead. Because surely, right, if you keep playing Red Dead, you're going to get those hours up.
Don't know, mate. Very weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
I don't think the list isn't wrong. That's definitely how I feel. But I couldn't tell you why.
Okay. Have you completed Red Dead yet?
No.
And have you done any of the online stuff yet?
Yeah, I've been playing online.
Okay. That's
the thing is, part of the problem was online came out and I went, oh cool, I'll make a character and play online. Yeah. And then I was like, well, I'm either playing Arthur Morgan's story, which
Yeah.
is this dude who I didn't make,
Yeah.
or I'm playing Ellie's story online, and she likes hunting and playing dominoes.
Dominoes I get, hunting I really struggle with.
I haven't found the dominoes in online yet, and it's pissing me right off.
I honestly could not get on with that game.
No, I can see why.
Yeah.
The way I think LJ described it as, it's it's not the best game. It's the most in-depth game
Yeah.
ever. Like, it's so deep,
Yeah.
but it's not the best game ever. And I was like, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think like just playing it isn't always particularly fun. Like,
Yeah,
there's fun
exactly.
moments, but getting between them isn't necessarily fun.
And it'll be beautiful, but you're like, but I'm spending 20 minutes riding somewhere.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
My number one is another VR game. Like I said, I'm crazy into it at the moment. It's Astrobot, which is very similar to Moss in like how you
It's
play
just
it.
Moss with robots.
Instead of it being a little mouse with a sword, yeah, it's basically Moss with robots. Oh no, to be fair, actually, yeah, in Moss you're collecting scrolls. In Astrobot you're saving other little robot people. But then they all dance at the end of each.
They do
level.
dance. It's very adorable.
Oh, it's so good. It's another game I can see you get in and then getting way into it at some point.
Until we get to that water level.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's just dolphins swimming over your head. And barracudas.
Barracudas are spooky.
Yeah, one of them proper ate my little robot.
Oh, that's not nice.
Popped out of his hole. And that was the end of Astrobot.
What a little dickhead.
Dead. But yeah, the thing why Astrobot has topped Moss is it's just a much bigger game. I'm still playing it and I've done like many a night on it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I also like if I've missed a little robot, I've got to go back and do the level again to try and find him. So it does add up the time, but it's super fun.
Fair enough. No, that's fair.
So that's our video games.
Right.
TV next.
TV?
Yeah.
Go on, Liam. You start. Tell us your fifth.
Fear the Walking Dead season 4. I've reviewed it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Basically, Fear the Walking Dead season 1 to 3, not that great. Season 4, the writers just went, fuck it, let's change everything, and it worked really well.
Yeah. It's such a weird thing for them to have done and for it to work. That so rarely works.
Yes, exactly. There's some disappointments to it, but within the context of the story, it all sort of makes sense, and you kind of forgive it. And just it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, fair enough.
What was your number
my
5?
fifth is Star Trek Discovery.
Did that come out on Netflix?
Yeah, it's Netflix original. Not is it original or exclusive? Whatever
Yeah.
terminology. It's not a reboot of Star Trek. It's just a new Star Trek series set very early on in the Star Trek lore, and it's surprisingly good. Like, I thought it was going to be shit, and that it would be a bit of a like, oh, why have they done this? I like it. It's really good. It's got some good stories, good characters. I'm excited for the next season.
When is the next season?
I think it's this year sometime.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? I'd love to get into it, but about 4 years ago, I think, I started watching Star Trek, the original series, and I powered through the first season.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's come from a different time, right? It's like the 60s, and each episode is very standalone, has its own like beginning, middle, and end, and then events often don't really like have a knock-on effect, and I just didn't have.
And
that,
Liam's
like,
broken
I need to
and
watch this
refuses to
episode,
watch
so
anything
it took me
else.
a while to get through it. Yeah, I need to get through season 2 and 3. Then I need to do, I think, the animated series. Then I need to do some of the movies. Then Star Trek: The Next Generation, which I do actually want to do. I'm quite looking forward to doing.
Yeah,
that
because Star Trek Next Generation is amazing.
Yeah, the thing is, I've got like a nice Blu-ray box set of all 10 films. It's just issues that I
You're a
have
waster.
with my life. Do you know? I think it'd be quite fun
Go
at
on,
some
then.
point to do like a podcast where like I sit with someone and we discuss each episode as we go through it.
There's quite a few podcasts that do that.
Yeah, exactly. But that would be the sort of drive that I would need to get through it.
Yeah, fair enough.
No one do
What's
that
your
with me.
number? No, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Riverdale. So in 2018, I believe the end of season 2 was aired and the start of season 3.
Yeah.
The end of season 2 was okay, nothing great. Start of season 3, amazing. Can I just give you like just a little summary of what season 3 is
Sure.
all about and how amazing it is? Okay, so you know Riverdale. It's all about Archie Andrews, and he's got his eyes on Veronica, but then he's got that next door neighbor like Betty, and she likes Jughead, and it's amazing, right?
Sure.
So season 3 starts with this weird cult that forms from a game that is clearly inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, but it's called something and Gargoyles.
Of course, because they always do.
Let me look up. It is honestly amazing. Griffins and Gargoyles, that's what it's called.
Of course.
And it's this weird cult, and basically there's the Gargoyle King, who is supposed to be like overseeing this entire game, and kids are getting way into the game and they have to like prove their worth to the Gargoyle King, but that involves like drinking poison and dying, and it's like, it's so good. I'm way into it. You keep shaking your head, but like I know you'd be way into it if you actually watched it.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, so I don't know why you're shaking your head then.
Oh, just sort of general disdain.
It's honestly, it's great.
I'm not a fan of the D&D cult stuff.
Why not? It's great.
Because it comes from a place of legitimately people thinking D&D was a cult and demonic worship, and a game that I genuinely love being like not abused, but you know, there was like a whole period of time where parents were like, you cannot play that fucking game because it's how Satan gets you.
Yeah, this is Griffins and Gargoyles.
Right, yeah, sorry, completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah, Riverdale season 3.
Yeah. I can't
4.
wait for it to come back.
What is it on, like Christmas break?
Yeah.
Fair enough. My number 4, Liam, was Altered Carbon, another Netflix show.
Sci-fi. I see like the wallpaper for it and stuff.
It's based on a series of books that I love.
Okay, I didn't
about
know that.
Takeshi Kovac, I think his name is. It's based on a book called Altered Carbon. We're getting a second season, I think, again this year, and I think it's based on the second book. I hope it is, but I love that series, so I'm hoping that it will do good because I really liked that. I thought it was really good.
Fair enough.
I don't know what critics thought, but fuck them.
Well, doesn't matter if it got a second season, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because this year Netflix particularly have been a lot more like brutal with just culling stuff. Like look at all the Marvel stuff, but equally like shows that I really enjoyed have just been axed. Like Everything Sucks. Loved the first season of that. No more.
Was it you that told me that's because a lot of people were starting to watch it and they're not finishing it?
Yeah.
I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, you are. I got way into that show. That was one of the few shows I actually properly binged. Where I was like, I watched it in 2 nights.
It's a very you show.
Yes, and I can't think of no greater compliment to a show. And also like Flaked got cancelled as well, which I was bummed out about. So yeah, Netflix just need to calm their tits really.
Fair enough.
My
What's your
number 3,
third place?
The Good Place.
Oh,
just on Netflix.
Good Place in third place.
Exactly.
I haven't watched season 3 yet, so I couldn't put it on my list, and I don't know why I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I don't know why you haven't either. It's really good.
Because Good Place is, I love that show.
Because season 3 is the season that's currently airing, right? Yes. Yeah. So again, they're on Christmas break, but the first half, super good. Some great stuff.
Yeah, I probably will try and catch up with that so I can finish it with everyone else.
Did they do, again, like Riverdale, it would have been in the last half of season 2 in 2018 as well?
Think so?
That was also quite good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Good Place. On the list, in third place, what's your third place?
My third place, Liam, is Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Me and Kat are currently watching it.
I love it.
I'm struggling with it, but only because every time I'm like, should we watch it? Kat's like, nah. I don't think she's really enjoying it.
But it's all about witches, Liam.
Yeah,
teenaged.
I quite like it. The only slight issue I have is normally in the frame there's a lot going on, and at the moment when I watch TV, I have like this horrible blind spot that covers up like a bottom part of the screen. So that's
fair.
It's annoying when there's so much going on, and I'm like, well, I'm aware that I can't see some of it without like having to actively scan the screen with my eyes.
Yeah.
Which, then you're aware that you're doing that, and it takes you out of it a little bit. Whereas like other shows that are more like typically done. It's not on this list because I haven't watched this yet. The one that came out last year, but like This Is Us, for example, it's more of like a character piece without having a lot of like fantasy stuff going on. So it's just easier to just kind of.
That's fair.
Yeah,
understandable reason.
And also, This Is Us is basically like Parenthood, which I fucking love. So
of course.
It's amazing.
We're talking about my third place, not a film.
Sorry, but yeah.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch is good
We're on
because
4.
It's done a similar thing that Riverdale has done, I think, which is take this tradition, because Sabrina was a spin-off from Archie Comics.
And then you had the Melissa Joan Hart TV show that we grew up with.
So they had these spin-off comics that were like, from what I understand of Archie and Sabrina, not kiddie, but you know, they're not like hardcore, gritty comics.
Yeah.
They might have gone through periods where they did like, oh, this is an Archie special where it is dark and fucked up. But then you had, the Sabrina the Teenage Witch TV show and cartoon, both of which were aimed at kids. And what Netflix, I think, have done quite well with Sabrina and Archie is take things that are like that, and instead of most people, Disney, going like, oh, people used to like Kim Possible, let's do a new Kim Possible kids film.
Yeah.
They've gone, well, no, everyone that liked these things is now adults. Let's make some kind of dark, fucked up versions. And you're like, yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I don't know. I know obviously Archie's been going on for ages. I know they rebooted it like not that long ago in the last few years. And I think like the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina graphic novel that I'm familiar with, that the like title of Sabrina takes a lot of its inspiration from, that came out also about the same time as the new Archie. So I don't know if there was like another like version of Sabrina. I'm assuming so, because that would have been when the 90s TV show would have taken its thing from. But I don't know how like
I think
dark it was in comparison or whatever.
No, to be fair, I don't either. I'm just assuming from the fact that it was an Archie spin-off that it probably wasn't. Because there's some fairly dark moments in this where kind of fucked up stuff happens.
Like the first episode starts with someone getting stabbed in the throat.
Yeah. So. Yes. And also, I fucking love what they've done with Salem the cat this time.
I mean, I don't think I've seen enough of it to comment, but I miss not having.
I mean, you've seen when Salem turns up, right?
Yeah.
That's all I mean. I love because in the TV show it was a talking cat who was a wizard that had broken the rules and been punished, which is now there are two characters, which I think is the original story.
Okay.
There is a wizard who's been punished, and Salem is this like familiar that she summoned.
Yeah.
But everyone else summons familiars and enslaves them, whereas Sabrina's done this like, we should be equals.
Yeah.
And maybe doesn't end up with the regular type of familiar.
Yeah.
But the scene where you sort of see him you see a glimpse of him in his like true form.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that, or maybe I haven't just didn't notice.
You must have, but you might. There's a bit where when she summons him, there's a bit with a mirror, and he's this. You see this really creepy like long spindly thing lean out from behind the mirror very briefly, and then she like gasps or something, and then the cat walks out from behind the mirror, and you're like, oh, Salem isn't a cat. He's like some sort of demon that she summoned.
Yeah, I just love we
that.
Started it like before Christmas, and we haven't gone back to it, and it's annoying me because I want to finish it, and Kat's
you got to do it.
She's just dragging her feet about the whole thing.
Do it by yourself.
Oh, she'll get moany if I do that.
Don't tell her.
Especially because she really wants to watch Daredevil season 3, and I won't let her till I've watched Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Alright, well.
And she's like, well, yeah, if I watch Sabrina by myself, she'll be like, why didn't you watch Luke Cage and Iron Fist by yourself?
Yeah, fair.
My number 2 is Big Mouth season 2.
That doesn't surprise me. I thought that would appear on this list.
Yeah, we started watching Big Mouth last year. We watched both seasons. It's super good. I'm only really familiar with Nick Kroll from The League.
Yeah.
But Big Mouth is just amazing. It's the sort of show that I think you would enjoy, but you just have to watch it, really.
I'll watch it when you watch Rick and Morty.
That's on Netflix, isn't it?
I think it goes on and off of Netflix. It's very confusing.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, the thing is, all I've heard about Rick and Morty is just like that the fans apparently aren't very nice.
Right, but the fans of video games aren't nice, so...
Yeah, I don't play those video games.
It's all video games. It's the video game community.
Oh, well, they all need to die in a fire then.
Jesus. Oh, yeah, no, I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's sort of a comedy, coming of age, but...
Animated.
Not quite, yeah.
It's just, it's the sort of thing where both me and Kat aren't big, like, animation fans, really.
Yeah.
But this tickled us. Like, just... I put the first episode on when Kat was away one night and laughed out loud several times throughout it, which surprised me. So then I told Kat to watch it, and she was like, oh, do I have to? And I'm like, just trust me on this. Which she did. And that was it. We were hooked.
Fair enough.
So maybe if you trust me on it, you'll get hooked.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe not. What's your number 2?
My number 2, Liam. My screen turned off at the exact wrong moment there. My number 2 is The Haunting of Hill House.
Keep hearing amazing things about it.
Another Netflix show.
Yeah.
It's me and my dad watched it because he'd heard about it from people, and I was like, oh, cool, yeah, we'll watch it together on Netflix.
Yeah.
And honestly, we watched one a night where we just stopped watching all other TV, which is unusual for me and my dad. Like, we've got stuff that, like, on a Wednesday we watch this show because it will have been on, but Haunting Hill House just took over. And then for the last 2 episodes, we did it on a Thursday when everyone else is out.
Yeah.
It's just me and my dad, and we were like, if we start now, we can just finish it today.
Yeah.
So we just binge watched the last 2 episodes, and just both loved it, and it's so good. Like, it didn't particularly scare me, but there's definitely jumpy bits in it.
Yeah.
It's not full of jump scares either. It's not like trashy horror.
Yeah.
It's legitimately good horror.
It's like, I imagine it's more like The Conjuring, right?
Yeah, exactly. Where you almost go in expecting it to be a bit jump scary, but actually
It's just fucking
those aren't the
creepy.
scary bits. Like there are some real creepy bits in the show that aren't relying on jump scares at all. Just not dread, but like you're watching something happen and you're like, oh, this is horrifying.
Yeah.
And it just goes on and you're like, oh.
Fair enough.
Good.
Yeah, and the thing, we started watching it, but we tend to watch a show when we have dinner. And we started watching it, I got literally a minute into it and was like, I need to concentrate on this. I can't be eating and watching.
No. It's a concentrate show.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And it's better for that. You need to concentrate because part of the fun was me and my dad being like, what do you think's happening?
Yeah.
And trying to figure it out.
Fair enough.
Which, to be fair to my dad, he solved a major plot point just by himself. Just literally went, like, on the day before we finished it, he was like, I think I've solved something and it might ruin it if I tell you because I genuinely think I'm right. So I was like, no, you got to tell me because I love that shit.
Yeah.
And then when we watched the final episodes, they did exactly that and I went, yep, fair play. You completely called that and that's fucking impressive.
Yeah. Maybe you should bring him over to take a look at Cat's Mystery Package. My number 1 TV show.
Yes.
Atypical Season 2. I love Season 1. I love Season 2. It's coming of age. It's right up my street. It's really good. I've reviewed it. I must have done at some point in the last year. It'll be on YouTube eventually. Once it's on YouTube, go listen to the review. That's why we do YouTube, really, to make it easy to find these sort of things.
Well, Liam does it because he's an anal arsehole, but yeah.
Yeah. It's why we've gone back and done all of the episodes for this reason.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because Atypical Season 1 review is currently on YouTube. So if you want to hear that's available for you. And Season 2 will be up at some point this year. At some point this year, the YouTube will catch up.
Yep, that's true. That is, Liam has told me that.
If we stick to if I stick to my current YouTube uploading schedule, which is 1 a day, Monday to Friday, at least, like 1 part of the show a day, and we stick to the Nerd on Nerd recording special, which is every 2 weeks.
We'll see.
If you're suddenly like, let's make Nerd on Nerd weekly, it will be harder to catch up.
It would be quite funny to do that just to fuck your YouTube schedule up.
It would,
anyway.
But you would not be able to keep on top of that.
No, that's true. My number 1, Liam, is a show that I raved about on the podcast, so I don't think it'll be a surprise to anyone. It's Queer Eye.
Yeah, obviously.
Fucking love it.
Yeah.
And both seasons were in 2018, so I can say both seasons.
To be
Number
fair,
1, I love Queer Eye. It's just so wholesome and lovely.
To be fair, that probably would have been my number 6.
Yeah. Yes, because you were completely not into it when I told you about it, and then eventually watched it and were like, oh, maybe I'll watch more, and then got into it.
It is just that, like, it's a feel-good show. It shouldn't really work.
Yeah.
But it kind of does.
Yeah. You just come out of the episodes being like, I'm really glad that happened, and I got to watch it.
Yeah, that's fair
Love
enough. On to films.
Films.
Our favourite films of 2018. Ellie, kick us off.
Number 5 was They Shall Not Grow Old.
Which,
Peter Jackson
nice,
recolouring World
cheery,
War I footage.
Great way to start.
It didn't get on there because I was like, oh, what a fun film. It got on there because I was like, 1, it's impressive.
It is impressive, yeah.
And he achieves his goals, which were to like make that war feel real, because his whole logic was, well, when you watch black and white footage that's
There's
all
a
shaky,
distance.
you don't feel it.
Yeah.
And this genuinely makes you go, oh, fuck, that was horrible.
Yeah. And
So,
you
like-
also got to see it at the cinema with a Q&A afterwards, hosted by Mark Commode, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, and that was interesting to watch.
Yeah.
And I think seeing it on a big screen as well, like, added to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's my number 5. You?
My number 5 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Can't believe this is number 5 on your list.
Well, it is.
Shouldn't be.
But it is. I mean, at least it's on my list.
Yeah, no, it's... Yeah, I mean, it's in your top 5 films of the year, so it's pretty high.
Yeah.
Praise.
So I probably saw a fair few more films than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like I said before, I'm not usually a fan of animation. Really like the animation style in this. Like the story. I was just pleasantly surprised by it. Oh, I've got really into the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Could have done without Spider-Ham.
Doesn't matter. Spider-Ham's great. He's a spider, Liam. He wasn't a pig. He was a spider that got bitten by a radioactive pig.
Terrible.
Do you know his backstory at all?
Not really.
So that happens, right? This spider gets bitten by a mutant pig, or a radioactive pig, and becomes this pig. He then turns up on Aunt May's doorstep, who is a talking pig, and then she is so old that she doesn't know who he is, so he just convinces her that he's her nephew. He just convinces this old lady that he is her nephew, Peter Porker, and just lives with her. That's his version of the Aunt May story. Love it.
No. Yeah, that's my number 5.
Yeah, fair. My number 4, Liam, was Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I get that. It was just, I think it was maybe slightly better than the first Deadpool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just good. They're doing Deadpool right.
I loved the scene in the X-Men mansion.
Yes, where I never see any of the X-Men here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
There were some.
But that's like such a good joke considering the first. It's like them. Yeah. It's so meta because in the first one there are no X-Men.
Yeah.
So then having them be like, where are all the X-Men? But then also being like, no, we have got them.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah.
It's so clever.
It was great. There has been some criticisms about the film using. I don't know what the trope is exactly called. It's something like woman in the fridge trope or something. Where
woman in the fridge.
Something like that. Yeah.
Explain. I've.
Let me Google. Just because I want to get it right, and I feel like I'm only like getting half of the story here. Women in the fridge trope. Yeah, that was right. Cool. So, women in refrigerators is a trope identified by comic book fan and now comic book writer Gail Simone because she was sick of seeing superheroines who have been either depowered, raped, or cut up and stuck in the refrigerator. And that was kind of levelled at Deadpool 2 for how it treats Vanessa in that film. How she comes from this like quite strong, powerful force in like the first one, like character, and in the second one, like she's basically just thrown away as a reason to propel the plot forward.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I still thought it was a good film, so...
Yeah.
But I just felt like it was worth mentioning that it has been criticised by feminists particularly.
Thanks, Liam. What's your number 4?
Black Klansman.
Oh, that's a racist film.
Honestly...
I mean, it is. It's about racism.
Yeah,
so
yeah. It is, like, probably the most powerful film that I've seen this year.
Yeah.
I remember
you've reviewed it on the show.
Yeah.
And
I think all of these I've reviewed on the show, because that's what I do on this show.
To be fair, I have reviewed all of mine.
Yeah.
Except one.
Yeah. But yeah, this one just... Yeah. It just... I don't want to spoil things, I know you haven't seen it yet, but I just kind of came out of the cinema just almost like shell-shocked. It was really good. You should really watch it.
It's on my list. That's genuinely one of the ones that I'm like...
You should.
I've got like a list of films I should have seen this year that I didn't, and that's on there.
Fair enough. What is your number 3?
Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again.
Should be higher.
Yeah, well, it isn't. I mean, if you want to know my thoughts on this, we did a whole bloody Liam birthday special episode recently, which is all about it, and the first one. So go listen to that. But it's just a feel-good film. Well, number 1's a feel-good film.
Number 2.
This one's feel good, but also feel a little bit sad and cry a bit.
Yeah. It beats you in the emotions repeatedly, but it's also just so fun, so it just doesn't make sense.
Yes, it is very conflicting.
Yeah. My number 3 is Mission Impossible Fallout. It was great.
I remember you saying it's surprising.
I've
also heard that it's one of the best ones since like the second Mission Impossible. Or third. Maybe the second was bad and the third was good.
Really bad. Third. I really like the third. Second I did not like at all.
Fair.
Yeah, it is really good. I might have said this on the actual review that I did, but it is basically watching Tom Cruise for 2 hours just doing ridiculous stunts, basically risking his life just for my entertainment.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Who doesn't love that?
Yeah, and it's like, it's just ridiculous things where he's like, okay, I'm going to ride a motorbike into oncoming traffic, but I'm going to do it without a helmet because I want you to see that it's me, Tom Cruise, doing it. And I'm just like, I kind of have to respect that.
Yeah, but then he's a Scientologist, so I lose a lot of that respect.
Yeah, but I kind of ignore all that.
Yeah, fair.
Your number 2?
Avengers Infinity War.
What's your number 1 going to be then? Okay, yeah. That's also my number 2.
Yeah, it was just, this is like the culmination of whatever arc of Marvel we're currently in. I can't remember if we're in arc 1 or 2 or whatever we're in.
We're in phase 3.
That's it, phases, and we're in phase 3.
Yeah.
But in reality, this is the culmination of all of that stuff from all the films.
It's the start of the culmination.
Yes, because we're getting Endgame.
Yeah, but yeah,
you know what I mean. Like this was the film where we were like, oh, we had the Avengers where they all came together, but this is where that's been leading.
Yeah.
And then other things have been tying into it, and suddenly we're at a point where it's like, oh, this is the biggest Marvel thing.
Yeah,
and it's really good.
Thanos has been teased since end of the first Avengers, I think.
Yes, I believe so.
And it's just like it shouldn't work. There's so many characters, and they've all got they all have to have a certain amount of screen time, and it just. I remember when the first Avengers came out, and I was like, "Oh, I'm nervous that they're going to make this work."
Yes, I believe we on here were like, "I don't know if any, it might get pulled off and be good."
Yeah,
but who knows? And it did, and then now they're just like, "Fuck it, let's add 10 more characters." And
now we're at like 20 something characters.
It's ridiculous,
and it still somehow works, and it's just like I still haven't got to see what I wanted to see yet. Still waiting for that, but
well, if that's what I think it is, you're not going to see it.
No, probably not. But it's still just seeing Thor interact with Rocket.
Oh, actually, no. Sorry, I do know what you're talking about. It's not what I thought. Yeah, you might still see that.
What did you think I thought?
I thought...
Oh, a movie where it's just all of them just sat around talking?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
But I've realised it's Rocket Raccoon and Iron Man talking.
Yeah. But to be honest, even if I don't get to see that, seeing Thor interacting with Rocket Raccoon was kind of worthwhile. It's sort of like that was almost what I wanted from the Iron Man interaction with him anyway, so I'm happy.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so good. And seeing like Star-Lord and Doctor Strange and Iron Man just and then the whole Peter Parker stuff, just so good. Such a great and like so impressive for them to end it the way they ended it.
Yeah, 100%.
But we did an entire special episode, one of our 2 special episodes we did this year, so
go listen to it.
It's like over an hour of us talking about this film.
Okay, so that was your number 2 as well.
Yeah, so your number 1?
My number 1, Liam, was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Of course.
It's honestly, I just love this movie, and not for the reasons that you think I love this movie, which is just because Spider-Gwen's in it. No, Spider-Gwen, because I do love Spider-Gwen.
You do.
I have a hoodie in Spider-Gwen's costume because she's my hero. But this was, it's just such a good film.
Yeah, it did a good
I'm going to talk about it in our reviews if we're doing reviews because I've seen it.
Yeah.
Since the last
this
episode,
is
so
going to be a super long episode.
Oh, fuck me. We should probably just skip the reviews completely.
We'll just do them
Or
quick.
the void.
That might be preferable.
We could literally skip Culture Swap and we'd have a full episode.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just do stuff quick going forward. My number 1, Ellie mentioned it earlier. It was Mamma Mia. Here we go again. Honestly, I didn't have a more enjoyable film experience than watching this film. It took me like a second viewing to really get into it. Like I liked it the first time I watched it, but I think like my initial rating was like 3.5 out of 5 or something. And then I watched it again and was like, I just gave myself to the film, and I fell in love with Lily James. That was one of my highlights of 2018. In all honesty, was discovering Lily James and being like, oh, she's my favourite person in the world. It's that trick, right? In the second film, right, where she's making breakfast for Pierce Brosnan's character, but the young version, Sam. And
possibly.
She's got like an orange, and she like rolls it up her arm and then like does a thing and bounces it off of her arm and catches it. That was like my favourite moment in all of cinema of 2018. That 5-second scene.
Jesus Christ! Well, what an end to the top 5 list.
That was the moment where I was like, oh, I think I love her. It's easy to woo me. Be Lily James.
That's fucking weird.
2019 though.
Yeah, what we always are, listeners, we always tell you what we're most anticipating.
Right, I know we did this 2 years ago. I'm not 100% convinced we did it last year.
Well, we probably didn't.
But we're doing it this year. So, 2019.
Yeah, that is paper you can hear flicking in the background. Liam's an entirely paper-based person. That's why he's got that file cabinet from his mum.
Yep. Let's start with games.
Games, I am looking forward to Animal fucking Crossing. It's not called that, it's just called Animal Crossing.
That could be a mod
I love
for
Animal
it,
Crossing. I just love Animal Crossing. It's such a good game.
Okay.
Just genuinely excited for it. I didn't know it was coming out until we were researching what we were excited for, and I went, "Oh fuck me, Animal Crossing's coming out." Yeah, that.
Any others?
We're only doing one. We're doing
I'm
one.
doing 3.
We're doing one. No, we're doing... No.
I've got
we're
3.
doing 1.
I'm sorry,
Well,
I've
we're
got 3.
doing 1.
I've got
We're
3.
doing 1, so I'll cut out the other 2.
Don't need to, because I've got 3.
Liam, what number comes before 2?
3.
You're going to say 1 at some point in this episode, and I'm going to cut and paste it into how many you say you're doing.
No. So
We're going to go, well, I've got 1.
look, I've got 3 games. I'm just going to do them quickly.
Just say them quick then.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 2 remake, Days Gone,
Yep.
big zombie theme emerging, and Anthem. Is that what it's called? Yeah. That's
Yep,
what I've written.
Anthem.
Anthem, which...
Big giant space robot suits.
that fly around. I think I did those 3 quicker than you did your 1.
Yeah, probably.
On to the next one.
TV shows, Liam.
Keep saying 1.
I'm looking forward to Game of Thrones.
What season?
8.
I'm looking forward to This Is Us season 3. I'm currently watching season 2. Oh, it might be season 4. I don't know. Whatever season's coming out this year.
I did my one way faster than Liam's doing his one.
Don't care. Loved it. Stranger Things season 3, which I'm surprised you're not looking forward to.
I am, but I'm only doing 1. I'm
And
most looking forward to Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones season 8.
It's literally, the segment is called Most Anticipated. That's how we described it. That's how I wrote it down.
In
Most
the past one,
Anticipated.
we
You
did
can't have
several.
3.
We did
This is like
several
Liam's
each.
Guilt 3 free list.
Yeah. No, except there's only 3 on this list. Films.
Obviously, Avengers.
Yep, Endgame. Agreed.
Yep.
But also, Spider-Man Homecoming, which...
No.
What? Oh, no, it's not called Homecoming, is it? It's
Spider-Man
called Spider-Man
Far
Far
From
From Home, which... Like, I get why they've announced it and stuff, but also it kind of spoilers, right?
I mean, that's not the only one. We've got Doctor Strange 2 coming out, Black Panther 2 coming out. They literally,
Doctor Strange
Marvel
2, I
just
think.
went... What was that?
Doctor Strange 2?
Yeah. So it's literally just... Marvel went, yeah, we know we gave it away. Here's all the other films we're making.
Yeah. Also, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile. No, that's one film.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it's where all the letters spell something.
Oh, no. It's just...
Swear.
It's the film...
What's the other words? Shockingly evil.
Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile.
Extremely wicked. Yusef.
Yeah, sure.
Yusef.
It's the film about Ted Bundy. Who's playing Ted Bundy, I hear you ask? Fucking Zac
Zac
Efron.
Efron.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
I think we're looking forward to that for different reasons. I like it because I like true crime. You like it because you love Zac Efron.
Did you say love?
Yeah.
Good. Now it's time for... we went to the cinema and we did cinema things and other things and...
Let me go first, Liam.
Alright.
Super Smash Bros. I realised I talked about it in that other segment, so there you go. Just re-listen to that bit.
Out of
Spoke
5?
about it. It's fucking good. Probably a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. And that's
Yep.
on the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
Made by
Right now.
Nintendo.
Yep.
Who's your favourite character in it?
Zero Suit Samus.
Are there different Samuses?
There's 3 versions of Samus that you can play as.
Why is that version your favourite?
Zero Suit Samus is the fastest version of Samus. She doesn't have the missiles or the charge-up gun, which is a shame because I'm very good with those. But Zero Suit Samus is just great. I love her. She's so fast and she does so many kicks. She kicks so good.
Right, okay. Well, who's your least favourite character?
She's the only... Zero Suit Samus is the only amiibo that I own.
Okay.
I literally have one, and it's her because I love her. She's just great.
But are you a big fan of Metroid Prime and all that sort of stuff then? No?
No, just like I've always liked playing as Samus in Smash Bros.
Fair enough.
And then they introduced Zero Suit Samus, and I was like, oh, she's so cool.
Who's your least favourite character to play as?
I think his name's Shulk, and he's from...
Oh. Is it Zelda?
Is it Xenoblade?
Oh, I
What?
don't know. I thought it was Zelda.
I think it's Xenoblade that he's from.
Yeah.
I just find him difficult to use.
Okay.
He's a sword character. I tend to like sword characters because they usually have really powerful hits and stuff.
Yeah.
But his works differently, and I don't really understand it, and so I just struggled with him.
Fair enough.
Yep. The other thing I've done, Liam,
Yep.
I've been to the cinema. I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh, what did you think of that?
It's my favourite film of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
Shocking.
is it a 5 out of 5 film?
You know what? Yeah, it is.
Yeah?
Yeah, genuinely. I loved all of it. I thought the art was amazing. I
Yeah.
thought
The
story
way it
was really
blended
good.
different art styles as well was quite impressive.
Yeah, it's done so well, and it's not jarring, and I feel like it
No.
should be.
Yeah.
That it's anime, noir, fucking whatever, the cartoon of Spider-Ham all blended into one, and yet it just works.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I love the stuff they do with it, where it's like, especially without spoilers, but there's a certain scene where a lot of those styles are happening like one after the other,
Yeah.
and everything's turning to that style and then turning back, and it's just done so well.
I quite like the recurring, like, let's do this one more time. Here's my like origin stories.
It's so good. There are so many origin stories in this film that they have to do 3 at once, and that is literally just such a hilarious moment.
And I like how it's like it uses things from all of the different like previous movies, like even like the Sam Raimi trilogy.
Oh yeah,
there
are rumors
from Amazing Spider-Man in it?
I don't know if it does specifically. I don't think so.
Okay.
But it definitely, it has specific Sam Raimi trilogy references that were made
to be like the whole
we do remember
the Spider-Man 3 like emo dancing is explicitly
so
referenced.
Also, one of my favourite things about this is when I was watching it, I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure Peter B. Parker is our Peter Parker, like the core universe, and I couldn't remember for certain, and I'm so glad that he is. That is in this film where there are all these amazing Spider-Mans. Our real Spider-Man, the one that is our universe Spider-Man, is the 30-year-old slob, and I love it. He's so good. Just his whole like origin, where he's like, oh, it's just so good. He's like we are. He's grown up with us and has become this like useless, not even useless, because he still does really well.
Yeah.
He's just sort of almost like tired of being Spider-Man, and it's so good.
Yeah, it's one of the films I'm most looking forward to it getting like a home release so I can watch it again. Yeah. I don't really want to go. I feel like at this point, kids are probably going to see it a lot, like repeatedly, because it is that good. It's the sort of film
I don't know if they are,
would.
because it is a kids' film,
it is
ostensibly.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, it works for everyone. I'd imagine there's still lots of.
I feel like I got really lucky when I went to see it because there weren't many kids there, and I think
there weren't many in my viewing either.
When I went to see Lego Batman, one of the things that really detracted from it was annoying kids like walking up and down the aisles and stuff. So.
I mean, the problem with Spider-Man in terms of why kids aren't going is like the guy that sits behind me at work was like, I really want to see it, but I don't know how appropriate it is for my son who's like 9 or 10.
Yeah, it's not inappropriate for that
No,
age.
it's not, but I think a lot of parents are looking at it and being like, because it's also not like, can't spoil. There's some pretty fucked up stuff happens in it.
Yeah.
Like, I just love the whole thing. It's my favourite film of the year.
Fair enough.
And Spider-Gwen's great.
Any other... So you've done no books? Any TV shows lately?
I've been playing Super Smash Bros. Haven't done any TV series. I've been playing Super Smash Bros.
And no other films?
Was going to watch Bird Box over the weekend.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Didn't. Played Super Smash Bros.
Okay, I see where your life is going right now.
Playing a lot of Super Smash Bros.
Well, since you're dropping the ball with the book reviews lately, I'm picking up the slack. I'm here with a book review, everyone.
It's a book review, guys. I think if you've been paying attention, you'll be excited about this book review, because this was the book that Liam was potentially going to recommend me after American Psycho.
I thought this could be our very first book that we do on a culture swap.
And he said, you know what, you read faster than me.
Yeah.
I'll start reading now.
Yeah.
When I get about halfway through, I'll let you know. We can review it together.
Yeah.
And then I got told, actually, I think you might fucking hate this.
This is another one of those examples where I read it as a kid, or as like a teenager, and was like, oh, this is really good. And then I read it as an adult man, and I was like, oh dear, stupid young Liam, you dickhead. Okay, House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski, I think is his name. This is off the top of my head right now.
Very impressively.
Wow. Okay, so how to describe House of Leaves? As I've said to you in the past, this is the sort of book that you would either absolutely love and get way into.
I think I'd hate it.
Or you would really hate it.
Yeah.
Like, really hate it.
I think it's that.
So, what is House of Leaves about? I'm pleased you asked. Predominantly, the main story is an essay type thing, like an academic essay written by this blind guy called Zampano about a movie.
I can't believe you even thought I'd like it.
I think you would. And okay, so what the movie is about, that this essay is about, right? Because you have to bear with me on this, right? Because I'm going to try and simplify this, but the book very deliberately makes it very confusing. So what the main bulk of the book, which is this essay...
fuck, if you say the movie is about an essay, I'm going to hit something.
No. Right, the movie is about this family, okay? The main guy is... I think he's called Will Navidson? I'm just checking this. He's a Pulitzer Prize photojournalist.
Oh, wonderful.
And him and his family have just moved, Will Navison, into a new house.
Is it just very quick? Is the movie meant to be like a documentary, or is it a? Okay.
It's a documentary. So he's a photojournalist, and he's documenting this move in his family, and he's doing these little like things. Basically, he's kind of haunted by this picture that he took, which won a load of awards, which was of this little girl, and behind her is a vulture, and she's all like starving and stuff and near death.
Yeah.
It's very similar to, there was like another famous picture that was like that, and it kind of ties into this this question of, should like a photographer who's a journalist ever intervene?
Yeah, got you.
And I think when it's like a human life is on the line, probably.
Yeah.
But he got a picture, and then the story behind that picture is he tried to save the girl, but she died in his arms, and it's kind of haunted him. He's kind of like taken a step back from photojournalism. He's moved out into the country with his family, into this house. He's set up all cameras in all the rooms, and he's making a documentary.
Right, of course, yep.
He's been having problems with his wife, but they're kind of working through it. His wife is...
Oh my god, I'm so bored, and you're just you're like not even into it yet.
I know. Right, but no, we're about to get there. I promise.
Okay.
His wife is decorating this room. She sets a bookshelf up on it, and she has a book that's leaning on like the top of the bookshelf against a wall. Right?
Yeah, that's a bad way to set up a book. Yeah, all right, Karen.
The next day, that book falls.
Yeah.
And they measure the room, and it's grown by like 0.5 of a millimeter or something. Right?
Wow.
No, but bear with me. So the room inside the house has grown, but all of the measurements outside of the house are the exact same.
Okay.
So you end up with this room, and it keeps expanding.
Okay.
Outside the laws of like physics.
Yeah.
Until,
no, I get it. Yeah.
Until a door opens up, right?
Okay.
In this wall that takes you into a corridor, which would expand to like, this corridor just goes on and has loads of rooms leading off to it, and it leads you to a staircase.
Okay.
And like this would have all gone like through the house outside, but there is nothing outside. Like so it's a series of documentary videos, and one of the videos is literally them like circling the house and then going into the room and going through this hallway that should be which doesn't make sense, right?
No, yeah, wild.
Yeah. And the film is all about this thing. He gets these like explorers in, they try and figure out what's going on. At certain points they hear this like growling inside this like
the corridor.
Yeah. And also, every now and again, the rooms shift.
In the house or in the corridor?
In the corridor.
Okay.
And that big staircase shrinks and expands. So at one point, they go down the staircase, and it takes them like 10 minutes. And then when they try and go back up the staircase, it takes them a week.
Right, okay. Right.
It's honestly insane, right? So the main thing is this guy writing this essay about it and using like all of these like scholarly references, and like within the context of this book, this is a very famous film that loads of people have written academically about.
Yes, well, if that was a real film, it would be very famous.
Except while that's going on, you've then got another story which is told through footnotes by a guy called Johnny Truant. Now his story is he's found Zampano's essays. Zampano's now dead, and he's trying to piece together this story while also going through his own mental breakdown, because as he's reading more and more about this house, it's starting to affect him mentally. And he talks about how he's tried to research into all of the like scholarly references and stuff that are in this essay, and he can't find any evidence of most of these books ever existing.
Got you. So is it a sort of like him, that third guy,
Johnny Truant?
Is he in like our world? Is he the equivalent of our world with this book that doesn't exist because it's a fictional book, but in their world it's real? So then it's like
this whole
2 levels deep.
The way they're trying to like pitch this is that like this book is a real book.
Yeah.
And like his footnotes and that, and there's even like notes from the editor that are like, so for example, there'll be like Latin, and Johnny Truant will be like, I don't know what the translation is, and then there'll be a footnote from an editor that's like, this is the translation.
Great.
And then you get to certain chapters where, as they're exploring this labyrinth, the writing on the page starts twisting, and you get loads of different footnotes that take you into different directions. So the actual book itself becomes like a labyrinth to read, to try and replicate what the characters
does it become a labyrinth because the labyrinth only has one path?
But this technically only has one path if you follow the right path.
Okay. Well, if
There's
it
just
has any
lots.
turnings off, then it's a maze.
Fuck knows what it is. It's just confusing. And then like there's
It
different
sounds
bits
shit.
where like as things are meant to like be ramping up, you'll get less and less words on a page, and there'll be like whole pages with just like 1 or 2 words on, and then it's just. I don't know why young me thought it was good. I really don't.
I can tell you exactly why. Because young you, I think, and I don't know when it happened, but you have a thing where you read certain graphic novels or watch certain things and you go, this is so pretentious. It's trying to be smarter than it is, and it wants smart people to read it and be like, I'm so smart. The reason you don't like those things, Liam, is because you're that person. Because young you was that little dickhead who read House of Leaves and went, I'm so smart because I understand that it's a maze. And then old you's forgotten about the mazes and you're just like, labyrinths. And everyone's like, ugh,
Honestly,
get out.
pretentious is the exact right word for this book. The thing that's weird is I looked it up on Goodreads, right? And it's generally really well reviewed. And even people like Will Wheaton have like raved about this book.
Yeah.
And I generally respect his opinion. But I don't get how anyone could like this book. It's fucking ridiculous. It's awful. Honestly, 1 out of 5.
There we go. I'm not going to read it. Well, I might at some point.
Look, the thing is,
I'll either like it or hate it.
I wish that you weren't broken in the same way that I am, and that you could just read like the first chapter and be like,
Just to see.
yeah, be like, yeah, this is for me. I'm going to read the rest, or be like, nah, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, because there's not... The only book I'd ever started and not finished was American Psycho, I think.
But you finished it.
And I finished it. Because there was the only other book I've ever had that with was a book where I read the first chapter and just hated it, like full on.
Yeah.
Was like, this book's shit, I don't know why I picked it. And that stopped me reading for ages. And then eventually I just went, no, fuck it, I'll read it. And then that turned out to be an amazing book. And I was like, oh, I should have kept going. But
I would love to have a discussion with you, because there is a whole community around this where people have started like trying to read really deep into it, and like,
when did it come out? Is it a recent-ish thing? Or
in the 2000s, I think.
maybe I'll try it at some point. I'm just worried that I'll start it and be like, I fucking hate it, and then I'll just be stuck again.
Yeah, I know. That's what worries me as well, which is why I wish you could just do chapter 1 and then see, because
Yeah.
there are honestly bits in it that are good, and there was passages and stuff that I was like, oh, I'm into the story now, but there was just so much where it was just trying to do way too much. And then what makes it worse is it's got like appendices, and you'll be reading a bit and you'll be like, oh, I'm making good progress, and suddenly it's like, for all of Johnny Truant's letters to his mother that was locked in a mental asylum, turn to this page, and you go there, and it's like 60 pages of these letters, and I think even the editor note is like, you don't need to read these, but it will help you understand where he's coming from in this bit.
Yeah, and then you read them, because I would as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, it was a challenge getting through it.
You can see why I want to just read some shit fantasy for a while, Liam, right?
Yeah, I want you to read this, because you might get way into it and you might be like, oh my god, this bit means this, and you didn't even pick up on that, and I'd be like, you're pretentious.
Go on, what else have you been doing, mate?
Been to cinema.
What have you seen?
I saw Aquaman.
About DC's latest attempt to do superhero films?
Mm-hmm. Loads of people on Twitter were raving about it. Jason Momoa's good.
Yeah, well, obviously, because he's genuinely good.
Yeah.
I have an actual question, right?
Yeah.
Because we know that DC have canned the universe.
Yeah.
Is this, or so they say, who fucking knows DC anymore? Is this the last film that is officially part of the universe, or is even this now like, this isn't part of it?
I don't think this really refers to anything else that happens.
Jesus
I don't
fucking
think.
Christ.
There might be like one line. Yeah.
I'm just...
Yeah, there's maybe like one line that refers to other stuff, but...
Where he's like, I hear there's a man who can fly real fast.
Or,
Actually, wait, I don't even know when this would come in their timeline, because I know it ends in a certain way that would mean that it's got to be after Justice League.
Oh, this takes place after Justice League. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then he's not like constantly like, I'll just talk to my mate.
No, actually, there
Cyborg.
is a direct reference to something that happens in Justice League.
Okay.
But yeah, so the main story of Aquaman is obviously Arthur Curry. He's a man of two worlds, isn't he? Because his dad was a lighthouse keeper and his mum was
Queen of
Atlantis.
Atlantis?
Yeah, something like
Think so.
that. And theirs was a love that never should be. And then along came Arthur Curry, and he's got a half brother because the Queen got taken back to Atlantis and was forced into having a son. but they don't really dwell on the rape that much.
Nope. Yep. Fair.
His half brother thinks he's like the rightful heir of Atlantis, but actually Arthur Curry is the rightful heir, and then they have to fight it out. And meanwhile, Black Manta is around because
Does his suit still look ridiculous?
no, it looks really cool.
Oh, cool. Fair.
But there's some cool action scenes in it. I've seen a lot of people say how good like the underwater special effects are. I found them a bit distracting at times. Like they're good, I guess, but also still a bit weird. Like probably one of the better like underwater action like special effects I've seen for making it look like someone's underwater, but also still not great.
Yeah.
It was just average, 3 out of 5. Like DC for me started so high, well, got to so high with like Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman and all that sort of stuff, and then they've just really bottled it, and I don't give a shit what they're doing anymore, really.
No one does.
No.
Have you heard about? There was this one of the posters for Justice League. They had all these like promotional posters, where like it would have each hero, and it had like not a slogan but like a tagline. And Aquaman's was "Find the Seventh" or something like, or "Unlock the Seventh." Right? No one knew what it meant. It wasn't referenced in Justice League. Everyone was like, "Oh, there's bloody 6 underwater kingdoms in Atlantis, like the 6 races of Atlantis, and maybe there's a secret 7th one." Didn't do it in the film though, because I haven't seen it. I just know they didn't because I've watched a video about it. Yeah. And basically everyone just went, "Oh, DC just didn't know what the fuck they were doing." Like literally, that to me, I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly it." Someone went, "There's going to be a 7th kingdom," but no one fucking spoke to anyone, and the films are a shithole mess.
Yeah,
and I just can't be asked them anymore.
It's like I said way back when we were discussing it. When Batman vs Superman came out, I felt like there was an idea and a goal and a template that was put in place, and then I think Batman vs Superman came out and everyone hated it, and they just abandoned that, and it's just been a shit show since, because I think because so many puzzle pieces were put in place to form a final picture that when they went, "No, we're not doing that," suddenly a lot of stuff didn't make sense that had been set up to make sense.
I mean, I don't think it made sense from the beginning. I think the whole thing was just a complete mess.
It was.
It was literally just them going, my theory is just they went, Avengers did really well. We need to make the Justice League. How quickly can we do that? We probably need 2 films. And then the whole thing was just a mess. And then they went, "Oh yeah, also we need to have a
Did Wonder Woman come out between...
it might have. Maybe 3 films. To be fair, I'm being unfair because every time I talk about DC, I am genuinely excluding Wonder Woman, but without thinking about it, because I don't count it as that.
You like Suicide Squad.
And Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
because those are 2 good films. And I just don't count them as part of the law. Well, I mean, Suicide Squad sort of isn't, because we're maybe getting 2 Joker films. Who the fuck knows anymore? Because DC are literally just like, we're doing a film. No, we aren't. We might be. Who knows?
So, from what I can understand, we're getting the Joaquin Phoenix Joker film, which is definitely happening. Like, they're showing clips from it already. And then
with DC, it might not happen.
There's supposedly a Jared Leto standalone Joker film coming.
Yeah.
And then there's also, what's been cast and announced, is a Birds of Prey film with Margot Robbie returning as Harley Quinn, and Poison Ivy's going to be in it. And from what I've read, but this could just be speculation and bullshit, the Birds of Prey film is going to be about Harley getting away from Joker.
If she's teamed up with Poison Ivy, that is what it will be, because her and Poison Ivy are really good friends. Yeah. But they usually only really hang out when she's not with the Joker.
Yeah. So
and that's one of my favourite friendships in comic books. That's DC's good. There was like a run of series which was just like, I think it was comics, and it was just like Harvey Quinn and Poison Ivy just being not doing anything bad. They were just like hanging out and being girl pals, and I'm like, that's so good. They're just like 2 best friends who are evil.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
but honestly, I just can't be asked for DC anymore. They've lost. I mean, they lost all credit with me ages ago.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, Aquaman is 3 out of 5. It's average. I'm seeing. I don't know why I'm seeing so much positive stuff. I think people are going in with such low expectations that the fact that it isn't sucking, they're suddenly like, "Oh, it's good." And it's like, well, no, it's just average. The next film I saw at cinema went on Boxing Day to see this with my mum. Mary Poppins Returns.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's in it.
Yep, he's good in it.
Emily Blunt's in it.
She's good in it. I hadn't seen the first Mary Poppins film properly.
I haven't.
It's all right. It's a bit slow in places, but I think that's like just because it's a product of its time.
An old film, yeah.
The music's really good, and you would have heard probably like
I probably know most of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Mary Poppins Returns has some really good songs. Obviously, there's a song where Lin-Manuel does a little rap.
Yeah, of course.
And that's absolutely delightful. The songs are really good. The story's fine. The special effects are all right. There's nice like hand-drawn animation that they bring back from the first one.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. It was all right. Like, both me and Mum came out and were like, it was fun. I think Mum's feedback was that she wished that they'd done like some more of the old stuff, whereas I'm like, I kind of get why they didn't. Like, you want to leave it alone and kind of tell your own story. But
Your mum was like, I wish you'd give them more spoonfuls of sugar.
Yeah, and I was like, no. We're in a different time now, and yeah, it was only all right.
They should do a film where Mary Poppins returns, but it's the modern day, and people are like, oh, you know, like you said, times have changed. But then she's like trying to look after like a diabetic kid, and she's like, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, and he's like, no, really, it doesn't. That would actually probably kill me. But she's just like, I don't understand. Have some sugar.
And then you got another kid that's like, I can't eat gluten, and she's like, oh, I don't know what to do about that. What's sugar. Gluten? And just like someone else being like, oh, I've got fish, and this one being like, I'm vegan.
Mary Poppins just not comprehending how the world has changed around her.
Yeah, she's like, I could do some magic, and then like, you're a witch, burn her.
The modern day.
Yeah. But yeah, Mary Poppins Returns, 3 out of 5. Honestly, the cast are all good, and the songs are catchy. Just the story ain't that great. It's just alright. It's 3 out of 5. Housekeeping. Shall we keep the house? I don't know. Is it for sale? Nah. We'll keep it.
Okay. Very good. We've had correspondence, Liam.
Oh, of course, yeah. Amanda tweeted us. No.
What did she tweet?
Ignore me. She emailed us, actually. We've got an email.
I wish you'd said tweeted and then read out like a long email, and everyone was just like, Jesus. Amanda needs to calm down.
Tweets. No, we've got an email from Amanda. Okay.
Yeah.
So, she said, Liam's birthday episode...
Why do you sigh?
Because it's a long email. This episode has gone on so long. She said, Liam's birthday episode and some recommendations. Amanda said, I also have recurring nightmares of getting into car accidents. Yay, anxiety dreams. Because that's something we discussed.
It's your anxiety, Liam.
Yeah. She said, Liam, watch Bridge of Spies. Mark Rylance is amazing and his performance is better than Sly's in Creed. I don't think that's going to be the case. But yeah, I'll watch it and we'll see. We'll see how wrong you are, Amanda. I'm just turning our biggest fan away from us, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
It's fine. We love Amanda. She knows that. Oh, no, actually, this is why I've done it now. I can't stand her. Listen to this. She says, again, sorry I'm not a fan of the Mamma Mia movies, but it was fun hearing how much you two love them. I don't hate them and understand why they appeal to people. They just aren't for me. Also, I've told Kat, but knowing she's not a fan of them makes me like her more. The thing is, right, when we have Amanda and Kat guest together, it is actually going to be you three women ganging up and teaming up on me, and just little Liam, victim of bullying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, poor little Liam getting bullied.
So everyone look forward to that episode. No, it's going to be
you ambushing us. We're all going to be like, oh, yeah, let's talk about whatever it is we've picked. And then you'll just be like, I want to talk about why you don't like Mamma Mia 2. And me going, Liam, please, can we just move on to what they've actually suggested?
And you'll be like, no. Kat doesn't like it. Amanda doesn't like it. We've got a fight. We've got a throwdown. Me and Ellie versus...
I don't want to be on your side.
Amanda also said that she doesn't have time to read the Christmas smut that Ellie found, but she can't wait to hear about it.
Smut is smut's correct.
Yeah.
Honestly, Amanda, you don't have to.
And then recommendations. So in this episode, we went way back. She said for Culture Swap, she recommends The Curious Creations of Christine McConnell. It's on Netflix. There are 6 22-minute-ish episodes. It's a macabre cooking crafting show with Muppets. I'm very interested to hear your take on it.
Oh, fair enough. I haven't heard of it.
Maybe we'll do that next episode.
Possibly.
Not for the next episode, but...
Yeah, we've already picked that.
Yeah. For your watch a whole movie series thing, Amanda's given us a list of movie series we can try.
You don't need to read out the whole list. We went through it. Just pick some highlights.
We have gone through it. Some highlights is Middle-earth, which combines Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies.
Having to do the Hobbit as well.
Yeah, I know. That would be... The thing is, you'd get through
At least you end with...
Yeah.
You end with Lord of the Rings.
But it would be like, what? So 12 hours of Hobbit stuff, followed by 12 hours of Lord of the Rings stuff.
And we would do extended edition, correct?
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
So you are looking at a solid 12 hours there.
Yeah, I might even be like...
Of each.
Yeah.
Without us stopping in between to do episode reviews and stuff. It would, in total, at least, I reckon, 26, 27 hours.
I want to do it, though.
At some point. Harry Potter / Wizarding World, which is, I think, 8 movies. 7 books. The last book was split into 2 films.
Yeah, but then there's Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, shit, yeah. And then Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And that's going to be what? By the end, that's going to be 5 films, I think they've said.
Yeah, that's the plan. See, I feel like Amanda's just trying to talk to us. Like, she's recommended James Bond, which is 23 films, I think.
We're not doing James Bond.
That'd be awful. Pirates of the Caribbean, that's a good shout, I think.
Yeah, that's doable, and some of them are good.
She recommended Star Trek, which I think you're looking at like 12 or 13 films there.
Maybe, to be fair, maybe we didn't explain well. Maybe Amanda's just like thinking we're actually just going to like slowly work through a series over a week or something.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, that's... Maybe we didn't explain
well. I could see her being like, oh, one a day, that's not too bad or something. But no, this is all at once, because I don't want to die doing these.
No. Die Hard, which could be fun. That's only like 5 films.
Yeah.
Or is it 6? Fuck knows.
I think 5, but I don't know for certain.
Yeah. Mission Impossible, which is another good shout.
Yep.
And Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic Park would be a good one to do. We need to. I feel like for those ones where the series is technically ongoing, we need to wait for it to finish.
Yeah, that makes sense. She's included the Muppets as well.
I think there's quite a lot of Muppets films, aren't there?
I don't know. We've got like Christmas Carol and Treasure Island, and then the one with Jason Segel recently, and then there's another one.
Yeah, but then I think there was an original Muppets film.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, then
we'll have to see.
Amanda's
but
also
thank you
listed
for the list.
Like a load of stuff that I've never heard of before, like Gidget, never heard of that. The Thin Man, never heard of that. There's others, but
it's good though because we now have a list that we can literally be like, oh, this looks interesting, or looks like it might be a thing for us to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you, Amanda.
I don't know why you don't like Mamma Mia though. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Sick of it. So,
yeah,
Amanda's Picture Show a Go Twitter account tweeted a very nice happy birthday, and then she included a picture of me drinking wine. And then she like, I think she tweeted, and then she either tweeted again later or put on Facebook or something, and then chose like a different picture of me drinking alcohol. So I just look like
a little alcoholic.
Yeah, I really do. But thank you for the birthday wishes. Amanda said that we love having Liam on the show, and highly recommend you check out his podcast, Nerd on Nerd, which is one of our faves. And then she mentioned the Buckaroo Banzai episode. What?
I was on that episode.
You were, but you're not mentioned in this tweet at all.
No, I'm not. Well,
which is fine by me.
Amanda's playing favourites again.
Yeah.
I think Amanda's trying to play us against each other, Liam.
Oh, probably. When we were doing the Paranormal Activity thing, we were tweeting along to it. Frankie, at Miss Frankie, tweeted us saying,
please stop.
You were doing so well. I didn't even make it through the first film in one sitting. I was sleepy and found it a little dull and haven't seen the others. Hope they're good enough to keep you going. Have you both seen them before or not? And then we responded saying, nah, we hadn't seen them before. And Frankie said,
I'd seen 1 and 2 before.
Yeah, but you forgot that you'd seen 2.
I forgot that I'd seen 2, which is a shame, because as you'll find out, I don't mind 1 and 2.
Yeah. And then Frankie said, I'm impressed. I would struggle even with 2 films back to back. Don't think I'd even attempt more. Look forward to hearing what both of you have to say about the films. We attempted 5. We were going to attempt 6, but we started too late.
I think in the recording we specifically are like, yeah, we're doing these 6 films, and then by like the 3rd one we're like, it's so late.
Yeah,
we got to cut one.
Amanda also responded saying, I like how as you go through all the pictures of the marathon, Ellie is slowly sinking further and further down, as if the weight of this task is too much. I
felt like, and I'm sure you'll hear it in the recording, Liam starts very low in that series. He's already like, I turned up, it got to about 4, and Liam was like, this was a terrible mistake, and I don't know why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And Liam sort of stayed at that level.
No, I think I increased as we went on, especially towards the end.
It's because you're like an emotional vampire, and you drain the positive energy out of me to feed yourself.
Yeah.
Because I started very positive.
I think that's why I like it when we have guests on so much, because that's even more positivity for me to drain.
Yeah, for you to just suck in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like some sort of hungry whore. Amanda tweeted us about our Christmas episode, saying she cringe laughed through the whole Liam's mum's screwing bit. Apparently she's 12.
That should have made it onto my favourite moments.
I honestly don't really remember it, so
It was honestly like, you said it first, and you said it, and it was accidental, and I was like, that's funny. It's a funny little joke. And then you said like some other stuff, and then I think a couple of them was like you being like cheeky and being like, oh, that sounds a little bit, I'm carrying it on. But then you just say like, and she brought the dog, but you were genuinely saying it, and you weren't trying to make a joke, but it just made it so much worse.
I'll figure out what that's all about when I get around to editing it for YouTube.
It's a good moment.
Also, right, I don't know if Amanda's having a go at me here or not, But in her initial tweet, she said she cringe laughed through the whole Liam's mum screwing bit, but she misspelled laughed, and then she corrected that tweet with the correct spelling of laughed, and then said, "Don't want to get called out for misspelling something on Twitter again." Did I do that?
I saw that. I don't know.
So
because I saw that happening,
Yeah.
and I couldn't remember.
So
But you've probably in this show, you have probably called Amanda out for misspelling something.
Amanda, I'm very sorry if I've called you out for misspelling something. I've now called you out for correcting your misspelling, so basically you can't win. But please keep tweeting
Why does Amanda
us.
like you?
I don't think she does. I think it's like tolerance. You're the favourite. I mean,
I don't.
As we found out, Amanda recommends the Introducing Ellie episode to everyone because everyone loves the
I don't think that means
Introducing
I'm
Ellie
her
episode.
favourite.
Oh, whatever. I've just edited that episode for YouTube. It ain't that good.
You're so petty.
The thing is, like, Amanda is not only like Amanda and Tom are our most dedicated listeners, but Amanda is more dedicated, I feel, because she actually interacts like after every episode.
Don't call Tom out every single time.
No, because this just fuels him not interacting. He loves it when I do this.
I mean, he doesn't need to interact. Tom is going to be hosting a podcast with us.
I host a podcast with Amanda. She still tweets us.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so Amanda said, so I've been thinking about a good punishment for Liam not achieving his DVD goal that isn't mean, but isn't too nice and appeals to Ellie.
Because now, if you remember rightly, Liam, the deal we came up with last episode was, and I edited it, so I've heard this. I said to you that the punishment I would give you this time would have to be, I will look it up. It was a bad punishment, like it was kind of mean. And I said, if you were then trying to get like this lenient bullshit punishment, and I said, well, look, you get until the next episode to come up with a punishment that you think works. And if it doesn't, we're just going to default to that punishment, and the guests can as like our listeners can too.
Yeah, so I didn't think of
So
anything.
I
just
have to
relied
agree
on
to
the
it still.
listeners.
I have to agree to it still is the thing. So
Here's what Amanda suggested.
it's got to be better than the current punishment as
Which
well.
is, because you have to remember what that is. Otherwise, how can you compare?
I get to pick the next 5 films for you.
Oh,
that
right,
you have
the
to watch
current
out
one.
of your pile.
Got you.
In whatever order I've
I
chosen.
thought you meant the punishment that we agreed on last time.
No. That's this.
Okay. So, Amanda said, what if Ellie gets to pick 3 anime Liam has to watch without complaining about it ahead of time?
Anime films.
That's the question. I would read it as films.
Can we compromise and go 2 films and a series? But I'll pick a short series. I won't trick you and be like
Pokemon.
Naruto, and technically that's 326 because they broke it into arcs, not series.
Yeah, potentially. It's something to think about. We haven't got there yet.
I like that one.
Um,
I'm giving it a yes, Amanda. That's a yes from Ellie.
now, is
Liam
it
doesn't
3
get a
anime
say.
that are already on my list, or do you say 3 anime and I've got to go and buy like
You've got to go and buy them.
2 new films to just make
You've
this
got to buy
list
2
for
new
us?
films.
And then
Well, do better.
Amanda said, after you read the passage from the Miss Claus book, I am totally with Ellie that there's no way that was written by a woman. Too much of the description was about the guy's pleasure and appendage in a way women don't write erotica.
Yeah,
Which-
exactly.
I don't know why Amanda's saying she's with you, because I think we both agreed that it sounded like it was written by Amanda, didn't we?
We did, but we were both being... Because I wanted to be careful about it in case it is written by a woman, and I don't want to be like, oh, this couldn't have been, and then it is.
Yeah.
And I think you were sort of just taking... Because I'd already said, oh, I want to be careful. You were like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll be careful too, sort of thing.
Alright, fair enough.
But I think we both agreed that it probably isn't written by a woman.
Yeah. Which is fine. I don't mind, obviously you're the favourite, so Amanda's going to side with you regardless.
Fucking
But,
don't be a little whiny baby about it.
Would I? No, it's fine. Thank you for emailing and tweeting us, Amanda. Obviously, no one else did, so you're the best.
Which means that we are, of course, onto the a little bit that was sort of hinted at there. Liam.
Yeah.
It's the end of the bloody year, mate. Technically, we're in a new year already, but let's ignore that for the moment.
Yeah.
Your goal for this year of Liam's Get Below a Certain Number of DVDs challenge
It was
to get below
1,091.
Yeah, the original starting number, the number you started at 2 years ago. 1,091 films in that stack, Liam. All you had to do, you had to watch 9 films, I believe we were at last time. Like, originally. You had to watch 9 films to get below it.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
Because you listened to our discussion on it before, right?
Yeah.
Was the goal get below the number, or was the goal be below the number at the end of the year?
Was get below the number.
I got below the number.
No. No, I see what you're saying. You're trying to twist it. No. It was not that. It was you have to end the year below the number.
Okay.
Obviously.
Right, okay.
Don't try and weasel your way out of it.
Hey, I've got to try.
Well, you can try all you want, but you know I'm not going to say yes to any of it.
That's true, but I've got to try. Otherwise, the listeners
all
are
right,
like,
give me another try. Go on.
No, that was my one and only try, really. I don't have anything else.
Oh, okay, no.
Okay, cool.
So, last time we checked,
Yeah.
you were slightly above the number.
What was it?
So, the last number you gave me was 1,137.
That was not good.
So quite a bit above 1,091.
Alright. It's gone down.
The worst number on the list.
It's gone down.
Has it gone down by however many that is?
No, that would have required just every spare
48,
hour,
I believe?
basically. Yeah. It's down to 1,122.
That is officially the second worst number on the list, so I'm not going to pat you on the back.
No, I don't think you should.
No. Well, you know what, Liam? I'm going to draw a little box around these numbers because that's a year over. You failed. That's fine.
Yeah, I failed.
Hey, why do we fall down, Liam?
So we can try again.
Yeah, I can't remember what Batman says to that.
So we can get back up again?
Something like that. Some bullshit.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
So, listeners, here's the thing. Firstly, this means that I, of course, get to punish Liam with the agreed upon punishment, me picking 5 films out of his stack that he has to watch in that order before watching any other films. Yeah. We have agreed in the last episode that he can go to the cinema because I don't want to be a dick.
Yes.
But he can't be like, I'm just going to watch this DVD. No. You've got 5 films you've got to watch.
Okay.
I think that's fair. The other thing it means is that at the start of this year, for Liam to achieve the goal that he said he set himself 2 episodes ago, with no prompting from me, Liam said he can get below 1,000 this year.
Yeah.
So Liam, at the start of the year, you only have to watch 122 films to meet the goal.
Can I just make sure I've done my maths
Already? This is so many films for you to. You have to watch 10 a month.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, 10 a month
without buying anything.
Yeah. I think that's doable. So here's what I'm thinking, right?
Okay.
If I don't buy anything in January,
which won't happen,
we're 7 days in. So far, I've done well.
Okay.
If I don't buy anything in January,
yeah,
however many I watch, I'm minus 10. The remaining number is how many I'm allowed to buy for the next month, as long as each month I watch 10, and then I'll get below the number.
Huh?
So let's say, for example, in January, let's say I watch 15 films, yeah?
Yeah, okay.
That means the next month I'm allowed to buy 5, providing in that month I still watch 10.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So for every single month, as long as I start the month and go, can't buy any until I've watched 10, then however many I watched the previous month is how many I'm allowed to buy, and I'll still hit my goal.
Yeah, that is correct. Your logic is correct. That's going to fail when a Criterion collection or a big box set comes out.
I'm not buying any Criterions this year.
Okay.
Unless...
Arrow films?
No, I've stopped buying those.
Okay.
I'm really hopeful that this year is going to be the year that it gets below 1,000.
Okay, so do you want to hear the... Because so listeners, earlier on today, Liam sent me over his list.
This could be where it all goes wrong, because if it's 5 horrible films, I'll just end up not watching anything in this month. That could be not good.
So, I'm not... As much as we do, rib each other on the show, I'm not a dickhead. And the worst thing I could have done would be to pick, just sequels and all in the middle of their series, because Liam would have hated it, and he wouldn't have done it.
No.
So, I didn't. What I did do, Liam... Because Liam was worried I'd just pick anime. And he said, you've picked a bunch of anime films. I said, well, you'll have to see. I didn't do that, Liam. Because again, I'm not a dickhead. You'd hate it.
Yeah.
I did sort the list. And I did sort it by the worst rated films on that list.
Oh, okay.
And then I did pick 5 of them. So these are theoretically
the
worst films on... I'm trying to help you. I'm getting rid of the worst ones, Liam. You've got to get them done sometime.
Honestly, there was a worse way for you to sort that list that I'm pleased you didn't do.
Would it have been sort by your rating?
No.
No, because you wouldn't have rated them.
No.
What was the other way?
Sort by length, longest first.
Oh, that would have just been a dick move again.
That would have been horrible.
I didn't want to do a dick thing.
Okay.
I've just given you bad films.
Right.
I think that's fair.
Alright, and I've got to do them in this order, yeah?
This is descending order, so you're starting with the best of the worst. Okay?
Okay, so my first film is the best of the worst.
Yes. So the first film you have to watch, Liam,
yeah,
is Jupiter Ascending.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's quite a long film, isn't it?
There's a lot on there that I skipped because they're part of sequels and stuff.
Okay.
There are much worse films on this list. Your second film, this one I picked because I love the name, and I need you to tell me what it's about.
Okay.
Laser Mission.
Oh, I've seen that before.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad.
Is it good?
It's not great. It's not bad.
I just love the name.
It
I was
is
looking
a
through it.
good
I was
name.
like, sorry, Laser Mission.
Yeah.
The Mario Bros. Movie.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm surprised this one is on the list so far down, but I haven't seen it. Fantastic Four, the remake, the one where they're all like teenagers.
That did get really slaughtered.
Yeah.
Slated.
Yeah.
That's the one.
And then this is actually one of the worst films on your list that's not part. I think it is the worst film on the list that's not part of a series, and it's The Bye Bye Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That'd be like a 90-minute horror film, though. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I
it's
mean,
not.
The real
This
question
is the thing, listeners.
is why do I have 5 of these terrible films in my collection to be watched?
Exactly. I'm hoping that almost this might like teach you a lesson about the things you can get rid of, because you'll be like,
And do you know
what?
I can tell you why I own these 5 films as well, each one.
Go on.
Jupiter Ascending was one of the first 4K films I bought because I thought, I bet that looks good in 4K. And then just thought, I'm not going to watch it though, am I? It's like 2.5 hours long or something ridiculous.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
It's a long one. Laser Mission I bought because it's when I had a blog like ages ago and someone recommended it as like a cult campy B-movie type thing. And I did watch it, like we're talking over 6 years ago now, so it's been a while, but yeah, it's not great. But it's got memorable scenes in it. Mario Bros. I picked up because it had a steelbook release. Honestly, I don't know why.
Give me a second. My computer's being still recording.
Cool.
That panicked me. Carry on.
Yeah, Mario Bros. I picked up because it had a steelbook release. I don't know why.
Yeah.
One, I don't know why it's got a steelbook. And 2, I don't know why I picked it up. C, also Fantastic Four.
Yep.
And then the Bye Bye Man was 5 for 30.
So it's I feel like this, and the goal of this whole challenge has always been trying to help you and show you things. So I'm kind of hoping that by picking the worst films, that you'll then watch and go, why do I own this? You'll be like, oh, maybe I don't need to buy shit films.
I mean, that is very true. This is the issue. Like, last night, I was trying to think, what movie do I want to watch? It genuinely took me like half an hour to come up with a film. And I was like, why do I have this many films that I don't want to watch?
Exactly.
Like, it shouldn't take me half an hour to scan through like 1,000 films and be like, I don't want to watch any of these.
Long.
The issue is, I try and have a lot of films to cater for a lot of moods, but I have a general mood which is 8 times out of 10 I'll be like, I just want to watch something easy, like a nice 90-minute gentle comedy or something, like the Guernsey Literary and Potato Pure Pie Society. Perfect example, right? But I get those films and I watch them real fast, but I might get like this isn't an example for that. I brought that by itself, but I would traditionally get like a 5 for 30 and be like, right, I want this film. Now I have to get 4 others to make up the 5 for 30, and it's just 4 films that I don't really care about.
Yeah, which was such a bad way of doing it, because it's that whole like you're that's exactly why they make those deals.
Yeah,
because it tricks you into thinking, oh, I'm saving money, but you're not, because you're buying 4 films that you're never going to watch, so you've just wasted more money.
Yeah,
to put it bluntly.
Yeah,
this is the thing, Liam. I still want you to learn, and I like that you've got a plan for next year.
I've got a plan.
I like that unfortunately for you, there's no prize next year.
What?
There's just the punishment.
Why
Because
is there no
you
prize?
have failed. Because you have failed 2 years in a row, Liam.
Yeah.
So you don't get a prize anymore. You just get punished if you fuck up.
No, I think I should.
Your
still
prize
get a
is
prize.
your prize is just you didn't fuck up.
No, I think that should be a prize, or what's
All
my
right,
incentive?
you know what? I will. Okay, so the prize last year was still a fairly good prize, I think, which was I get to buy you a film, but it's a film of my choice.
I don't
And
know if that
like
is.
I've just shown, I wouldn't have been a dick because you'd have earned a reward. So I think that the prize, it can't be as good as that. So I'm not going to buy you a film. I'll buy you a pin badge. That'll be the deal. If you do it, I'll get you a little badge.
Of your
It will
choice?
say, of my choice.
No, can't it be like a badge that says something?
It'll be like alright, okay, not a trophy. You don't deserve a trophy. I'll get you a badge. I will find somewhere that makes custom badges.
Yeah.
And it will be like a positive, like, my name's Liam, and I did a good.
So here's the thing, right? I actually really like this idea because I've recently started collecting badges.
Custom badge in that collection, Liam.
Exactly. So there's a website where I buy like pajamas and t-shirts and stuff from called Fright Rags, and they sell like horror film badges, but they've also got like some Die Hard ones, and I've basically started building up a little collection. And my plan is I have a laptop bag that I take into work that goes like over,
And then you're going to put the badges on the strap,
yeah,
like a 90s kid.
exactly. And also when we went to see Hamilton, I bought a Hamilton badge. And when we went to see
Oh,
Flight
very
of the Conchords, I got some Flight of the Conchord badges. So I'm thinking I could have a nice little collection of badges, and that could be pride of place.
There you go. See,
But
that's
it
right.
has to be a nice badge. I don't want like some like it looks like it's been printed by some idiot.
No, I'll get you a reward badge. Yeah,
It's got to be a
as long as it's not like
sweet-
20 quid. I'm not spending more money than a film.
Well, okay, so maybe that's the deal, right? Either a badge or a film, depending what's cheapest.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. We'll agree on that.
Alright. But
And then the punishment is Amanda's.
But-
I get to pick anime.
But the film, I think together we should come up with a list of 4 and put it to a Twitter poll.
Okay, that works. We won't have to do that till next year when you either pass or fail. So I'm not going to get my hopes up on buying you a badge or a film.
No, but make a note of this, or just remember.
Just remind me to check this episode. like I did.
And then the fail.
Amanda's punishment. Yeah.
But are we doing 2 anime films and then 1 anime series?
Yeah, but I'll let you. Yes, but you get to veto the anime series based on length, not on the content. But if I pick one and you're like, no, 30 episodes is ridiculous, which I wouldn't do.
But if you're like,
But
well, it's
I
Little
will
Witch
give you a
Academia.
veto. Little Witch Academia is so good. So you'll be lucky if you get given that.
Do you know what? I don't have to worry what the punishment is because
No,
I'm not
'cause
going
you've
to
got
have
a
to
plan.
face it.
You've
So
got a plan, and I believe in you.
I have a plan this year. As long as my eyesight doesn't get so bad that it makes watching TV and stuff just unbearable.
Oh god, that's well, I think there'll be like special get out clauses like Liam's gone blind and it's now I don't really want to force my blind friend to watch films.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've got a deal.
Virtual handshake.
Done.
Good.
Culture swap.
Swap my card. We're currently on the 3-hour mark. I'll be honest with you, listeners.
This could be our longest episode ever.
What did we do this time, Liam?
We did The Void. This we did because it was a film that was on my list, and also it was a film that we thought would be kind of up your street. It was like an Ellie type film.
Yeah, it's a. Listeners, there'll be spoilers for The Void, which is a 2016 film. So I don't know, you might have seen it, but then I didn't. I've seen the poster for this around.
Yeah.
So like, it could be on people's radars. So if you are thinking of watching this film, shoot off now. It's already 3 hours in. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Honestly, The Void is okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It has good bits. It has bad bits.
Do you know
But
what?
it comes out as okay.
The problem is, I feel like it was set up to be really good.
Yep.
Like, I loved how it starts with like this weird stuff going on and you don't really know what's happening, and then like the film like settles into a groove when this policeman finds this guy that's all out of it and a bit.
Are we
bloody
doing?
or something.
Are we still not doing spoilers for the moment?
No, we're doing spoilers. I just don't
Okay,
really know
cool.
character names on. I think.
Yeah. So I think the policeman is Daniel Carter,
Yeah. Okay.
played by Aaron Paul.
Yeah. Who Kat made this point. She said because she saw the name come up and she was like, "Oh, is that going to be like a knockoff version of Aaron Paul from like Breaking Bad and stuff?" And he looks a bit like him, and then acts a lot like a knockoff version of him.
I don't know.
Honestly,
He's not
if you disagree,
he wasn't.
take it
No,
up with
because
Kat.
you've got if you were going to have a knockoff Aaron Paul, it would be the kid that's on drugs.
No, not his character, like actor.
Oh, I don't know from other stuff.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah. So Daniel Carter. Yeah. At the beginning, he doesn't really know what's happening, and that is the high point of the film.
Yeah.
Is the mystery.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
this whole film is sort of about
what's going on?
like and not understanding
Yeah.
what's
And
going
the
on.
setup is essentially the cop guy, Daniel, takes this injured man to a hospital. The hospital has recently-ish had a fire, so it's working like with not fully operational.
I think there's like 4 members of staff.
Yeah, it's working on a skeleton
something.
crew as well, and it's just it deliberately like it quite obviously references Night of the Living Dead at the start. Like there's a scene from it played on TV, and
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead is about a bunch of people holed up in one location being like sieged by zombies, right? So I was like, oh, they're clearly showing us that clip to give us a bit of a hint of what we're in for. They're going to be stuck in this hospital, and what you see at the start is these like hooded, robed cult figures that kind of they seem to be surrounding the hospital and not really letting anyone escape, and that I thought was real creepy. I was on board with all that sort of stuff. Then the film starts going downhill.
To be fair, right, I still was enjoying the film with the first monster.
It was okay.
For me, the point where I was like, yeah, fine, was the ending. Like,
Yeah.
the moment you get down to the basement with the triangle.
Yeah.
Which is, so basically, this whole film is like, it turns out there's this cult happening, which is led by one of the doctors who's in the hospital.
He's trying to resurrect his dead daughter.
His daughter died and he couldn't save her, so he's dedicated himself to bringing her back. And the way he's done that is he's sort of created this mystical cult where he seems to be brainwashing people.
Yeah.
And then he can also
Impregnate them.
Yeah, he does this thing where he like brings. I think the idea is he's bringing like a soul back from the other side, which is represented by this black pyramid or white pyramid.
Yeah.
They then go into a body, and that body, like, a human can't hold that, so the body transforms itself.
Yeah.
So you get a myriad of like disfigured monster creatures.
Yeah.
In this hospital,
and it's really minimal CGI. It's all like practical monster effects and stuff. Which the thing is, it looks cool. The first like big time you see a monster though, a light gets smashed, and then the light's just flashing throughout the whole scene, and I found that really annoying.
Yeah, that's fair. I really like the practical effects in this. Yeah. I super loved the scene where he first meet the first nurse that turns into the monster. So the policeman goes into a room where the druggy guy that he saved is. And the nurse is standing over him with a... Oh, no, is it someone else?
It's someone else, yeah. It's a different guy.
Yes, sorry, it's someone else. And she
stabs him in the eye with a knife.
A scalpel.
Yeah,
and then turns around and shows that she's cut off her own face.
Yeah.
And is just peeling bits of skin off, which is gruesome and horrifying.
Yeah.
And, like, he's just being like, please stop doing that. And she's, like, tearing chunks of skin off. And then mutates into a giant monster, which is kind of ridiculous. But you know what? Fuck it. I like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's weird because I hate body horror films, but stuff like this,
but I think
I'm fine
you don't
with.
understand what body horror films are.
I don't think I do.
I think you hate torture porn films.
I do hate torture porn films.
Yeah, body horror I think you would enjoy because it's stuff like The Fly is body horror.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. I don't mind body horror films.
Yeah.
I don't like torture porn, and this isn't torture porn really.
No, not at all.
No, because he's not really torturing people. He's
No.
just making monsters. Spooky monsters. It's all a bit shit.
It is, and I hated the ending, like the very ending.
Where he becomes the skinless creature thing.
No, when they go through the void, like literally the very ending.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just like, what was that?
It makes no sense.
No, like the whole skinless creature thing. I was like, I saw it. It's a bit Hellraiser.
Yeah, see, that's the point. That was the point where I was like, I'm less of a fan now. Also, the monster that he creates, which is his daughter, is maybe the worst looking monster in the film.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very, because they're doing the practical effects, it's very like cumbersome, and it's meant to be moving very fast, but when they're showing it, it doesn't look like it's going very fast, and I was like,
Also, I think the problem is, like, when you have characters trapped in a single location,
Yeah.
your film kind of rides or dies on how good the characters are.
Yeah.
And none of the characters in this were particularly amazing.
I liked the wife.
I like the wife, I like the pregnant lady.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like the trainee
twist with her
nurse.
character.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the trainee nurse.
Who, all three of those characters are either minor or not in the film very much.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Didn't
they are
really
the
like
best three
the
characters.
two guys with the guns that...
No, I didn't really get what their... I didn't get the point of their character. I didn't get the logic of what their characters were doing.
Yeah,
because there's clearly meant to be this like deep backstory where
Exactly, yeah.
something's happened to their family, and I think the implication is that the wife and possibly a sister either became part of the cult through mind washing or turned into monsters.
Yeah.
Because they don't seem to care about... They're like, we know about this.
Yeah.
Hack them up. But then they also tore out the son's tongue.
Yeah.
So he can't talk, which is... I don't know. I didn't really... You didn't need that.
No, exactly.
Just a weird, like, oh, he can't talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, the dad's just literally like, anytime the dad meets someone new, he's just like, oh, I'm going to kill you because who knows? You might be a monster. And then no matter how much evidence you give him where you're like, no, the monsters are trying to eat us, he's like, nah, I might kill you.
When I was watching this, right, it just kept reminding me of other better movies. Like, The Thing. Event Horizon.
The Skinless Guy's very Event Horizon. Did you just say Event Horizon?
Yeah. So, like, I was watching it, I was like, oh, I wish I was watching those movies instead, because they're way better.
Yep.
And, like, it's obviously taking a lot of inspiration from those other movies, but it's just not bringing them together particularly well.
Yeah. I think it's a shame, because I think it genuinely had the potential to be a really good film.
Yeah.
I almost wish it had relied more on the mystical side, like, and keep it mysterious and not like, it's a scientist doing this ritual. Yeah. I wish it had just been like, there's a cult and fucking you never find out that someone's running it.
The creepiest part that I just felt like wasn't really utilised enough.
Yeah, I love the bits where they like someone's like, we've got to leave. And then he's like, no, look outside. And there's literally just the whole woods are full of these figures wearing long white robes with a black triangle on the face.
And like holding knives.
Yeah, and it's just... And then they all disappear at one point, and
Yeah.
it's the most obvious trap, and it's so good, because even the characters are like, this is a trap. And you're like, yeah, it is. But you have to go.
I noticed in the credits that it was like an Indiegogo film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'd read that actually before. Possibly. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
But yeah. It's very much an Ellie film.
Yeah, but I can see why. But even then,
But like I was hoping
it didn't do enough to be an Ellie film.
Yeah, I was hoping the horror would make it like you'd have the sci-fi for you, the horror for me, and we'd both start the year with a good culture swap. And instead, we started the year with a painfully average culture swap.
I mean, to be fair to it, there were good moments that I think came through. Like, I genuinely, even though I should have predicted it, I didn't predict the scene with his wife.
Okay.
Where so finally his wife goes missing right at the beginning of
and there's some backstory between the two that they had a kid that.
Yeah, she had a miscarriage. Yeah, and her kid. So they're having this like. I don't think they're like living together. I think they're in like almost separated but not divorced.
Yeah.
So she vanishes at one point. He's trying to find her for the rest of the film. Finally gets down to the basement where you've already seen that the doctor's doing something to her. Has had this conversation explaining everything because of course he's a baddie. And then Daniel has this whole scene where he's talking to his wife. She's sitting there being like, "I'm pregnant again with this monster. I don't know what to do." And he's like, "I'll be with you. I'll hold your hand." And then as he's doing that, her hand just disintegrates. And then he sort of snaps out of whatever he's seeing. And you see the reality, which is she's dead and has just been like, there's all these massive tentacles holding her in place. And I was like, that's a good, like, because it's meant to be that this thing can sort of control your mind. That's a good twist. I like that kind of stuff. But it's just it's one bright point in what is a completely average ending.
Yeah, and that's sort of the problem, right?
Yeah. But like you say, the pregnant girl who actually gives birth to the monster, that stuff's good. Like she's basically just dedicated to this doctor and loves him, and then her stomach explodes and a giant monster crawls out
and drags her behind it. Yeah. It's grisly, but it's just not good. It's not like I at no point was I particularly scared.
Oh no, it's not scary.
No. And it's just,
like, I wasn't scared at all.
Like, tonally, I think Event Horizon is what it's closest to for me.
Yeah, because it's got that whole mysterious otherworld stuff going on, but Event Horizon does that way better.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of wished that was what I was
rewatch
watching.
Event Horizon.
Yeah, same. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Void.
Just all a bit weird.
Do you think there's, like, any deeper meaning?
Well, I think there was... Clearly, they were trying to have the deeper meaning of. Well, it's not even that. It's just more like there was clearly meant to be this whole like almost the way I was envisioning it was more Cthulhu-esque. Like I think he talks about sort of in the Black Void there's things and all that stuff, and like it tries to have that because it's not the traditional afterlife. It's this when you go to the other side, you're in this world that's got a giant black pyramid floating in the sky and all this shit. And I was like, they're trying to have that sort of mythology behind it, but they don't do enough work to make it feel like there's a mythology. It's just like, oh no, you've just done some effects and said, yep, that's the afterlife.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it tries to do anything clever. I think it's just a average film.
The one thing I would say is afterwards, I did look up to see if there was a sequel. And as average as it was, I was a little bit disappointed that there wasn't. Because they kind of leave their characters in such a position that a part of me is just like, I'd like to see how they write their way out of this.
Yeah, it would be interesting because it would have to be Daniel and his wife who are now dead, except Daniel's actually kind of not dead because he's travelled into that world and have to like fight their way out of the void. Yeah.
So I'd be curious.
It would be shit, but I would like to see the sequel.
Yeah. Out of 5?
Probably a 2.5.
Well, we start the year in agreement.
Yeah, makes sense. It's a very 2.5 film.
Yeah, exactly. What are we doing next time?
I can't remember. I know we've agreed it.
We're doing a graphic novel called Lumberjanes. We're doing volume 1 of Lumberjanes. Right. We were struggling with what we should do. This is a graphic novel that if I was to predict, I've read it before. I like it. I think Ellie potentially will really like it.
Your prediction is getting worse and worse. When you suggested it, you were like, you're going to love it. Now you're like, you might like it.
You're hard to predict sometimes.
Oh, you fucking... How hypocritical of you. Actually, no. To be fair, you're not hard to predict. It's just if Ellie recommended something, Liam will hate it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, if you've read Lumberjanes Volume 1, you could let us know what you thought of it by tweeting us at NerdOnNerd. If you've got a lot to say, if you really want to waffle on, you could email us, nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. You can send us a message on Facebook, facebook.com/nerdonnerdpod.
All one word.
All one word. You could YouTube us, which just search Nerd on Nerd. That reminds me, we did have a comment on YouTube that I forgot to mention in housekeeping.
What did they say?
Let me find it.
Interesting?
Actually, all of our comments are interesting. So we've had 2 comments. The first is Anthony A. Perez commented on a review of a film I did called It Comes at Night.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't know why this review has been picked up. Like, it had 1 view and 1 comment. Anthony A. Perez said, "It's an incredibly well-acted film with beautiful cinematography, great lighting and very eerie moments. However, I found it incredibly boring. There's no payoff to anything that the film sets up, and it doesn't take any of its interesting concepts to any interesting places. The film ended, and it left me feeling completely blank and wondering why this was even made. There's no narrative to follow at all. I don't mind art house films that don't focus on narrative and plot, but there's nothing to cling on to in this film, nothing to even come back and want to rewatch it for. I was hoping for more as the film played out, because I was really enjoying the acting and look of the film. Very disappointing to me." Which is pretty much reflective of what my review was, which was,
Fair enough.
I had high hopes, they weren't met. And then we also had a comment left on Thor Ragnarok, which I reviewed. Kat commented saying she loved Thor Ragnarok and would happily watch it again and again.
Your girlfriend, Kat?
Yeah. I don't know.
What's she commenting?
I don't know. I didn't even ask her to do
Did
that
you force
one.
her?
No.
What? She did it by her own choice?
Yeah.
What's
And
happening?
I keep meaning to ask her why she did it, and I keep forgetting to. And now
Please find out. And then force her to tweet why she did it.
Yeah, I honestly don't know why. But the YouTube channel is getting some action at last.
Fair enough.
I don't get it. Like, I get the Thor Ragnarok one because that review literally was published like a week ago, right? But yeah, I don't know why the YouTube channel is now getting interest. Like this It Comes at Night review, that went live in November.
Oh, weird. I don't understand YouTube.
No, but we've got a YouTube channel. If you want to go get involved in the conversation, go chat with the people that are commenting there. There's a couple now. Just search Nerd on Nerd, you'll find us. You could also leave a rating and a review on iTunes. 5
helps
stars.
us.
Helps us. We'll read out the review if you leave a review for us. Have we had any reviews lately?
While Liam's just quickly checking to see if we've had any reviews, the podcast should now be on Spotify as well. I think I've sorted that out. So, for those of you that are like, "Oh, I don't want to use a different app to listen to Nerd on Nerd," just go on Spotify.
No new reviews.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that was our very first episode.
We're somewhere on Spotify.
Are we? Are we on Spotify?
Maybe. I filled in the thing. They said it would take a couple of hours, but I can't see us.
That was a few hours ago.
Yeah.
I'll let you sort that out. So that was the first episode of 2019 of Nerd on Nerd. Ellie, any final thoughts?
Why aren't we on Spotify?
Probably because you arranged it.
Bye. Bye.